Mr. and Mrs. Dog were apparently just brutal.
When you're the third and they didn't want you to begin with, it's tough.
Jackie's heart's broken twice
Yeah,
now.
right, like, oh.
KFC Radio is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket is America's #1 lottery app. What's it called? It's called Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order lottery tickets like Powerball and Mega Millions right on your smartphone. If you got an itch to scratch, they got you there too, because now you can also order scratch-off tickets using the Jackpocket app. Scratch that itch in states like Texas, Ohio, Massachusetts, Arizona, and more. Jackpocket, the one-stop shop for all your lottery needs. I don't know if you guys are scratchy guys like me, you guys and gals. Big scratchy guy. I'll buy a book of scratchies and I'll just scratch them all. You get the filament everywhere. It's a mess. Don't have to deal with that on Jackpocket. Jackpocket, you just buy your scratchies, buy your Mega Millions, whatever it is you wish. You can download the Jackpocket app now. New customers get your first Powerball or Mega Millions ticket for free with code KFC. That is a free ticket, a free chance at millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, only with code KFC, only on Jackpocket.
We got the dog in the building. The dog is out.
I will say,
Off the leash.
out of everything I do, I think this is the show that I'm best on and most comfortable on. I think
I
we've
like to hear
had
that.
good episodes. We do it like twice a year. I think they're always very fun.
That's very nice.
Very
of you to say.
relaxed. You
I
guys-
would agree with that.
I've never done one with Jackie, I don't think, though.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
Jackie's the goat.
I don't think you were.
Well,
It's not so much you,
do
it's more
other
just that you're a
shows
woman.
Together. We do fishbowl all the time.
Yes, we do fishbowl
Dude,
together.
Fishbowl, Carmunicate.
Did you know this about Jackie? She for Secret Santa, I bought someone a
Fuck.
present, and then Jackie
Thought you were
didn't
gonna get
put.
away with it.
She didn't put my name in Secret Santa,
I
so I
didn't
just
know.
never got a
Just
present.
didn't get anything.
You know something else about Jackie? Didn't tell me about my present.
What's that?
What was your present?
Jenks's.
Jenks got me some cleanings that I'm not going to use, but
Listen, guys.
Is that saga still going on?
he like flagged me down and he was like, I got you, did Jackie tell you? And I said, no, she didn't tell me anything. And he was like, well, I got you room cleanings or something like that, or apartment cleanings. And I said, thank you. And I genuinely mean thank you, but I'm not going to like ask him for like the number or anything like that, you know?
I'm so bad at like when
If you already paid for it, I almost feel like you should.
He also
Gotta,
bought
like-
you glass
You should-
seats
you should
for
absolutely
the
take
Rangers
it.
Bruins.
I wasn't going to be. I wasn't here. That he texted me again. I don't have a problem with Jenks. He was very nice and he was very apologetic. It was like 10 texts of me being like, I can't go to the game. And then he'd be like, what about these seats? I was like, I can't go to the game. And he's like, what about these seats? I was like, I can't go to the game. He's like, the seats, they're in your email. I was like, I will not be in the city.
Wait, so did you get your? Like it wasn't a physical.
No, I don't know. He just told me that and I continued on.
But it was just like a printed
Because then
out.
it's a thing like, if he's like, you order them and I will pay for them and he hasn't paid for anything yet, then he just got away without giving you a gift. I would imagine he bought like a.
I
voucher
think someone
for-
said like, I think not someone.
Bro,
I
if
think
you
he
ain't gonna
said,
use them,
like,
pass them over here.
Yeah.
My kids run through.
I got
house
my
like a
guy. I
fucking
can't go.
Well, you
against my
have your
queen.
illegal children.
Yeah.
You have to have a house cleaner though, Kevin. You have
Yeah.
a mansion.
Yeah, we have. It's actually
Multiple.
funny. The lady who cleans my house has been with us forever. So like, she cleans Caitlin's house, cleaned our house when we were together, and now she cleans both our houses. So she's like part of the kids' lives.
Yeah.
She's like hugging them and shit. Like,
Aw.
yeah, she's in it. She's in it for life.
I
Even when
remember
she doesn't do a great job.
We have a house cleaner that I've been using forever, and
It's like having someone who cuts your hair you don't like. It's like, you just can't keep doing it.
he'll be just leaving dirty rags around forever.
I feel for the cleaners because like I'll be like, why did she put that in that drawer? And it's like, they don't fucking live here. They don't know where you put shit in
Why
your house.
didn't you put it in a drawer before
Right.
they came?
You left a big fucking mess, and they cleaned up as they saw fit. They're not gonna ask you where the fuck everything goes. But sometimes it's like, why is the television remote like in the pantry with the food? Or something like
Okay, so
that.
it's not just our people. It's
Yeah,
everyone.
that's everything. They're just trying to clean
They
up.
go to their
Think about-
meetings and they're like, "What do we do this year? Let's put remotes where they don't belong."
For some
Well, they
reason,
try
I
to
was
clean a
thinking-
huge house in like as quick as they can. They're just like whatever. You know?
This is not the same thing, but it just reminds me like during Surviving Barstool, I remember we were like sleeping and like Rudy had like woke up and he was like, they were like turning on lights and everything. I was like, well, first of all, we shouldn't be sleeping
I
here.
know. You're
Second of all,
fucking up their life.
it's 8 a.m. That's like a perfectly normal time to like start your day. And it was like 8 a.m. It was the middle of the night.
Well, speaking of getting up early, big purchase I just made.
Oh yeah.
I
Big what?
bought a
Purchase?
$200 standalone alarm clock because I want to become a better morning guy.
What do you mean standalone, like a little grandfather clock type?
No,
thing?
no,
Like
it's called like a hutch or a hatch or something.
yeah,
It's a
a
top of the line alarm clock, and it was $200. And then which I didn't know at the time, it's like a subscription alarm clock too, where you have to pay monthly.
much monthly?
It's only like $5 monthly or whatever. But Marty recommended it.
white noise and calming lights.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the sun rises on it in the morning, and then you have all the.
I've actually heard some pretty good things.
It has
about
great reviews, but now when I wake up in the morning, I just stare at it because I watch the sunrise on it, and I don't get out of bed. I just lay
They like
there.
literally make these things for kids. This like started with kids. So it's usually like a red light or a green light or something like that, where it's like you cannot get out of bed until
Oh, that's cool.
the light goes green or until like Mickey pops up or whatever to keep your kids like because they wake up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And you set it to like so you can wake up, but you got to stay in your room like quiet time until 7 a.m. or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You're just like a child. You're like
Are
5-year-olds.
you liking it?
It's a $200 white noise machine. It's like a fan for me at this point. I just put it on at night, and the rain falls, and then the rain's still going when I wake up, and I watch the sunrise on it, and I scroll my phone, and I still don't get out of bed. So no, it's
That's crazy.
Has
Yeah.
your guys' moms been trying to tell you guys to listen to like Mel Robbins or
To who?
something? Me and all my friends, and a lot of people I know, our moms are all like making us listen to Mel Robbins. Something.
Mel
So I don't know.
I don't
who
know
Mel,
that
Mel
name.
Robbins is this woman. I don't know, but I guess her PR team is working overtime and targeting like 50, 60 year old
She's
women.
like a motivational speaker.
Yeah,
type
she's like a
thing?
motivational speaker. My
Is
mom
it
paying
Tony
me-
Robbins' wife?
Yeah, no,
Bravo.
it's not.
No.
No, it's not. But my mom's paying me $100 to listen to her audiobook. And I'm listening to it right now, but it's like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing that I think saying at one point. And it's like, in order to get out of bed, you got to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What
Literally,
is
it's like-
that like?
It's just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of bed.
Do it,
I do that.
You give yourself a little.
I
Yeah.
don't actually
Gear
do
up,
it,
you know?
but I lay there until I feel something.
Yeah.
And I like just like until like I will lay and scroll, but I will like be open to encouragement, I guess. And then I'll be if I see something because the first thing I do in the morning is go to the gym. So I just like wait until I see something that's like makes me want to go to the gym.
I used
Be
to
it,
watch
like,
gym TikToks.
like
motivational
sometimes I
workout
will just stumble upon a workout guy I follow. Sometimes I'll just stumble on a song, Bruins highlight, whatever, and then I'm like, all right, time to go. And I just kind of
That's
it's all
mostly-
momentum. It's just momentum.
That's mostly why I bought it, because I wanted to become a morning gym guy, because I was going from 10 to 11 at night every night.
That's crazy.
Get
That's
home from-
serial killer hour.
It's just I like watching the Capitals, and then I like sitting around doing nothing. And
I
then
think it's crazy, but there's something kind of nice about it too. I don't know.
it clo-
I
don't like
agree.
crowds. I don't,
Yeah.
and I procrastinate, and it closes at 11. So I see the clock hit like 9:45. I'm like, I gotta go,
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
go.
that's good.
And then I get like
and then
a
it's also like a cutoff, so it's like
exactly.
You know,
So
I can't even stay.
Then what
like-
happens though is I have to do the whole after gym routine once I get home from the gym, and I was sleeping from like 2 to 8. You know, and
Yeah,
it just,
yeah,
it was
that's,
not.
That's not good.
Not
but
good.
but it's there's just something once you can't do that. There's an allure to it where I'm like, I wish I mean, my life's so weird because like half the time I can do whatever I want and then half the time I can't.
Yeah.
So I can't really like get much momentum one way or the other.
Yeah,
It's like,
that is tough.
I'm not
You
gonna like
can't really
force
get, like, a
myself to wake
routine
up
at all.
at 6 a.m.
you building
every
a
day.
gym in that mansion?
Not yet. No. Maybe one day. But like I think I reached the point. I don't know whether it's 40 or whatever. I'm just eating better and doing shit now, and I just don't care. It does not affect me anymore. I used to hate it, and now I'm just like, I think I just had like a gluttonous, 30 years, specifically like a
Yeah.
gluttonous like decade, and I'm just like, I'm done with it.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I
it's-
still snack and eat. Like I'm not like eating healthy, but I'm like,
You have a hold of your life now.
yeah, but and it really
it's
was
good.
just like it just finally just happened. Like there was nothing. I just was like, I can't do this anymore. Okay, and it used to be like I would do it. I mean, this is still relatively short period of time, so we'll see how long it lasts. But I can feel the difference in it, where I'm just like, I used to like I want to do nothing. I want to eat snacks. I want to just like be a bum. I want to just keep watching TV, and I reached the point where like I've just done that for so long.
Yeah.
And there's enough hours in a day, and I do have enough freedom with like half my life that I can do all those things. But I just feel like I've
You finding
like, turned a
hobbies?
corner.
Like
I remember seeing
not really.
Seth
working.
Meyers. Seth Meyers was on Mike Birbiglia's podcast, and I saw a clip where he was just talking about like doing different things, and it's such a simple thing he said, but like it really resonated with me. Where he was just like, "Look, man, it's a long life, And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you get to live a lot of them.
That's what I mean. Like,
I did this for 10 years and I fucking loved it. I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Now I'm doing this for 10 years. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And
then
I'm doing that for 10
40
years.
more after that.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a great segue. I took some notes of like possible discussion points that we can have.
Hell yeah.
And one of the things I wrote down, well, there's two. It all kind of combines into what we're talking about organically. Are you desensitized to money, Kevin? Like you've gotten to the point. I know I mansion whatever, but like you're, you got the cash out, and I'm sure you're paid well, and like I'm not desensitized, but with like crypto, it's made me like the swings that I've gone through in that, just like percentage of my net worth has made me be like, it's just numbers on a screen type of thing.
I hear you.
I hate paying like $1.99 seamless fee, but then I can also lose like
$50K on
extravagant
the
You
amounts
are
of
weird
money.
with money. Like there are some things where you're
Extremely.
like, that's $100. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are other things you're like, it's $10,000. Who cares?
Exactly.
I've always found for me that my expenses have always grown with my money and almost outpaced my money. So like I don't know. It's just like I added a zero to it's just shit's like it's fucking
think-
expensive, bro. So it's like every couple months, every like a couple times a year, I have to pay my kids' tuition. And it's just like $25,000 poof out the window. And it's
But
just
do you
I just have to do that.
feel anything when it goes away?
Yeah, no, I still feel
do.
it, but I like, yeah, I mean, I definitely still feel it. I also like taxes were crazy.
Yeah.
Bought my house cash, bought my parents and my sister, like helped them with their house. The divorce settlement was way higher than I thought it was going to be, and I turned around, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like it's not, it's not like I can do whatever I want for the rest of my life. You know
So
what
like
I mean?
I have like a good amount of crypto, not like a ton, but whatever. And then I have stocks, and the swings, like it's just up and down thousands per day. And I always think like if I just had double the amount of money that I currently have, which isn't very much, but if I just had, a little more, everything would feel free. It's just like you don't.
Yeah. Oh, if you're like a single guy.
Yeah.
If I had like my money and just like lived a single life, I feel
Like I
feel
think about
this
someone
is-
like Mubi, who's been just getting TikTok money out the ass since she was like a sophomore in college or whatever.
Yeah.
She must be the richest person alive.
Is that a lot of money though?
Yeah, I
I
think
thought it was
It's
always
a
like you can like
decent
pay your
amount of
rent,
money,
like,
man.
which is nice, but it's like, are you like caking it?
I think that you're at the level, kind of what you're saying, where it's like you don't need that many expenses at this age.
Yeah.
So you can just
So
have enough
that's
to
really
buy
the thing.
what
Like,
you want. When
I
you want it,
mean,
you can get it.
If you're just paying for yourself and it's as extravagant or as bare bones as you want it to be, you know? What
Yeah.
I mean?
We kind of said that the other day. Like, I every level of my life has always just been like, I don't know, I can afford to do what I want.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like even when I was like 17 or like I only had like a fucking
No way for me.
but I just wanted to do different things. Like I don't know, like I
Well,
wanted to.
But I mean, if you're 17, you want a Rolex, you can.
Right,
But
yeah,
if you're
but-
17 and you were like, I just want to go to the bar and like,
I've
you
always
know.
been able, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to drink Bud Lights and eat
Yeah.
25-cent wings, so I could afford to do it.
Yes,
and
yes,
then like
yes.
I got a little older and I wanted to do something
It's
else.
when
and
your tastes exceed your status in life. That
Like
you're fucked.
I'm so happy now. Like all I like to do now is try good restaurants and eat like omakase, and
I don't even know what that is.
it's
See,
when
that's
they-
the other thing. I have pretty white
individual
trash taste,
pieces
so,
of like sushi, like the
Okay.
fancy stuff.
Got it.
It's the only thing I enjoy at this point. Like I don't like anything more than I like that, and to be able to like go to that dinner and pay a bill and not have
Not
to like
freak out about
sweat
it.
out like another
Yeah,
paycheck.
yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
where it
what life's
was. I
about.
remember you guys have said it. Getting paid $50,000 a year was the best feeling I ever had.
Yeah.
It took me 3 years at Barstool, but
dude, I was talking about that the other day.
Took
I
me
think
3 years of work.
when we moved to New York, which was 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I made not pretty sure. I know I made $60,000. That was like how did we do that?
Bro.
I don't know.
That shit really has gotten a
I
little
have
bit
no
out of
idea.
control though, because I don't think that would be possible now.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you lived with 2 people.
I live with 2 people, but like
Yeah.
even that, I feel like I shouldn't have been able to make it work, but you make it work.
We just made it work, yeah. And now, I mean, it is kind of, it's cool to see, like, everybody's like, took forever, but people have money now, and it's like really cool to see. I don't know.
yeah.
Like,
We were just talking about it with Rowan last week. Like, most of us have been here
That
long
was
enough now.
great. That really fucked me up. That was great.
Wait, what?
What?
Just the way how smooth you were with that.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I was like, we talked around 10 minutes ago.
Same.
Oh shit!
Behind the curtain, we're all wearing the same clothes.
That was crazy.
That was not crazy.
That was like
guys.
the most impressive hosting I've ever seen.
20 years of doing this, and you finally got it. You finally
made
got
it,
a tip of the
guys.
cap.
I made it.
That would have
man.
been so much cooler if we were chill about that.
But I was saying to Ron that
Last week.
last week, everybody has been here long enough that everyone's a veteran at some point. Like when it was like I've been here 10 years and you've been here 3 years, there's a big difference. When it's like 15 versus 10, it's whatever it is. It's like everybody's been here long enough and they're doing well enough that they're making some money. And the point being that we're all getting to a point where you're just doing what you like, hopefully, rather than like chasing.
Great segue into my next point that I wrote down. When do you start doing bucket list things? Like you've been doing this how long? 15 years? More than that?
Yeah, 15.
Do you ever thought about like I'm gonna take 3 months? You have kids, so it's a little different. But like in general, like I'm gonna take 3 months. Go to Greece. I don't know. Go to Japan.
I
like
don't think that. First of all, I don't really do the bucket list. I've always been like that was a bucket list moment and I didn't even realize.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like I don't know. There was never a.
what's the most time you've
like-
taken? 2 weeks for your honeymoon?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's crazy.
But I just don't think that way. Like I don't think I
Because you're addicted to the content game.
probably yeah.
I always
I
remember
also
the
just don't do
the
stuff.
article.
Do you want to?
Well, I'm very like
You can.
kind of. I know. I live a weird life. I live a very strange life. I remember saying this a few years ago, like looking on like people's Instagrams, and they were like traveling, right? I've told this before, and I was like, man, that person's like surfing in Hawaii, like, and I'm just sitting here, and it's like you could just go do that, but I remember you were kind of saying like those people, that's not like their life, that's like
Yeah.
their highlights, and you think it's like their everyday life, and so I go
But
back.
highlights
and forth
are
on-
important, right?
Yeah. I just don't. I'm a very like passive, I guess, person where I'm like, I could plan a big trip, and then I just don't. I
Why don't you
know.
try doing the ones I do? Because those I
What?
feel like are more you're up your alley.
Jet to England for a weekend.
Yeah,
because like I love doing that. I don't think I would
Well,
like
the
taking
kids
like
the kids are an
yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
But you like have like some weekends without him, right?
And you can
know,
Just be like, I'm going Thursday, I'm going Wednesday night, I'll be back Monday.
And just go somewhere.
I know. It's the divorce life is a weird one where it's like I have this 50-50, and it's like if I'm not with them, I'm like either feeling guilty or I feel like I should be there, or they have like one practice and I'm like, I gotta go to that practice, and it's like you could probably skip a practice and go away.
Do you go to
weekend.
every practice?
Not everyone,
Not-
but
but you're allowed.
practices. Practices are a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like with Keegan. I'm like a volunteer coach kind of, so it's like I help with the practice. I'm
Right.
not just like sitting him.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to be involved in your kid.
Well, yeah,
lives,
but you
like-
do reach a point. I'm like, at
But
some
you're
point, I
at
can't
that
go to
age, like-
practices with my kids. That's eventually you don't want your dad around. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, Keegan still very much does. So I'm like, fuck. I'm always like, you want to just go with the other boys, right? And he's like, no, I want you there. I'm like, great. So. But even I need to really figure out how to. I mean, it's a bigger
like flip a switch and be like, so like this is stuff I think about a lot. It's like, and you see, it's like a meme at this point. It's like, you can just do anything.
I know,
right?
I
That
know.
type of
You
thing.
can
And
just
I
do
think
it.
about that a lot. Like, I don't want to get fired, and I don't. But I also a lot of times think like, I could just go somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I can do stuff, and
Yep.
I don't really do it. And now I'm 36. I haven't seen any of the world. I haven't seen anything.
Do you think that there's a
there's a whole world
Do you
out
think
there?
that there's a correlation though between the people who
Yes.
do it? You don't even know what I'm going to say.
The answer is yes.
Because I don't think there is. I'm just posing this as
then
a question. I'm not sure if if this is right, but it's like the people that do it or would do it maybe are not like working hard enough and have the ability to do it.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No, that-
say it again.
So like the people, like a little bit of a paradox of like we have the ability to do it, but we won't because we work so much. But the reason why we have the ability to do it is because we worked hard and succeeded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Is there a correlation there where it's like you would do it, but
how
you
hard
can't
am
do it
I
because you haven't
working?
worked as hard.
because you know what I think what we forget
No,
here sometimes.
it's all relative. Working hard, but it's like being always just. It's the constant. It's not working hard, but it's like always.
But that
there
goes
for
back to
everything.
I could just not. I could
Yes,
just go
yes,
do it.
Yes,
And-
but we're the type to worry about our jobs and
Yeah.
freak out, so that we.
I'm
we
so-
Dave has always been like it's the star. It's the star. It's the glitter. It's like you get what you put in. So it's like
Well, but that's what I was gonna say.
But there
Because
is
I
a
do
tipping
think
point.
that we forget that Dave He used to take 3 months off a year.
I know.
Dave used to go to Nantucket for 3
Now he
months
takes
a year.
12.
And he really took like a full like month off.
He
where
would
it was
go
like,
off.
Goodbye.
Like he would do. Like he would not check in.
I do
like,
remind myself of that. That it's like
and that was pre-churning. That like
Yeah, he
Barstool
just-
hadn't made it.
Right,
That
right.
was. I'm sure that's something that helped. What I was gonna say earlier about like the article that I always try and remember in the back of my mind is it's an article about the guy who invented the Yeezy.
The what?
The Yeezy. Not.
I don't know what that is.
You know,
Secret Yeezy.
you've heard of Yeezy.
Oh, the shoe?
Yeah.
Oh. Why don't you just say Kanye?
Well, because
shoe
it's
is
the guy
called
who
Yeezys.
built the shoe.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
And it
way
was.
more difficult than it needed to be.
No, I just didn't know what he meant.
I've said that
I
before.
I thought it was
that-
like a device, like invented the Yeezy. I was like, well, I don't know what that means.
It's an alarm clock. It's,
Yeah.
Eric's autobiography is going to be called "Sorry I Made That Difficult."
That's very fair.
That's great.
That's me ordering at a restaurant, like pointing to
That's
the
you
thing.
doing everything.
Yeah,
Like, all right, I made that a little difficult.
oh, Mr. Perfect Brain Feidelberg over here. Ivory fucking
anyway,
tower.
the Yeezy creator. What do you say?
But he had taken time off before. He was like, he had been making shoes, and he was like, I just got burned out. And was like, I just gotta get out of here. And he went and started working on motorcycles just because that was a passion of his. And he was working on motorcycles, and being so close to the tires all the time inspired him.
Ah,
and that's what made the bottom of the Easy shoe. And he's like,
That's
that
what made
never
it
would have
pop.
happened if I didn't take time,
Right.
as I knew I was getting tired and knew I was getting worked out.
Yeah.
To go try something else. And
Interesting.
because like we all work in a creative field, like you can get inspiration from anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes sense to go like, oh, I don't know, like I went to the rainforest for a week, and it turns out I want to
can
do something
talk-
like
or even just go into the rainforest week and talk about it on your podcast.
Right.
And like everything helps. It kind of feeds it. But I also think that like, you know, I think if Dave thought he couldn't take that month off, he wouldn't.
right.
Like he was secure enough that he was like, I'm a big enough star. I'm doing well enough. The company's doing well enough. We're good.
Yeah.
You know. So if you have that feeling of like, and I always have it. That's what I need to figure out. It's like, if I stop, it'll all go away.
Yeah.
Because
I
I just
also
feel like
feel
there's someone is always there backfilling. It's like, all right, I listen to that podcast now. Or you know who's on Heater right now, Internet Heater. He's Kevin Love. Kevin Love is
The basketball player?
Yes, ripping it up on Instagram.
Funny guy.
Very, very funny. Nothing amazing, but it's like he's an athlete, so all of a sudden you're like, that's fucking. Wait a second.
It's
That's
like
also just such an internet thing we just did. Like, you know who's doing great? You know who's ripping? Well, I mean, it's not great. It's not good.
it's like no, it's like when
I
Blake.
know, right?
It's like when Blake Griffin was funny for like a couple months.
Oh wait, no, dude, I just saw a clip of him.
Wait, who?
Blake
Griffin.
Yeah,
He's still
he's
so
funny.
funny. He
He's
was just
funny.
on We Might Be
I was gonna say
Drunk.
he's more yes,
and he was fucking funny.
when he was talking about code switching, that was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
He I think Kevin Love is actually more like Blake Griffin maybe because I it was enough that I said, do you think Kevin Love has his own Instagram or does he have a person doing it for him?
Yeah.
And he responded and he was like he said it was him and he said people have been telling me you need to put your shit out there. Like it was enough that he's funny in real life that people were like, you need to be on the internet.
Yeah.
That to me is like you're actually funny. You know what I mean? But I said to him the same thing I've said. You've heard me say it a million times. Like I'm sick of these fucking athletes and celebrities who come in, steal our goddamn gig, and it started as a joke, and now it's very goddamn real. It's like I take a month off, and Kevin Love starts his podcast. Guess who's fucking listening to Kevin Love? They're not coming back to this Kevin. They're going with that Kevin. So then it's you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube on that one. So then I just never end up doing anything. But I think I'll reach a point where, just like I said with the tipping point with like working out and or whatever. You know what I will say though is I obviously like I only come in a couple days a week now, and I usually come in for this, and then I go back home.
clip that.
And
clip that.
But you know what I will say is like this is the first winter I did not get like violently sick in
Yeah.
a long time, and it's because like I usually not violently sick, but I was always coughing and like
Yeah.
and it just didn't happen this winter. Knock on wood. But it was like, and I was like, I wonder why, and it was like. I sleep in a little bit later. I take a day where I just don't go to work. There was a point where it was like KFC Radio, the Everyday Radio Show, the Kevin Clancy Show, the Mets podcast. Like I was doing like 6 podcasts.
Yeah.
It was like, this is fucking
3 of them were named the
crazy.
Kevin Clancy Show, which is
It
crazy.
was like, this is crazy. Yeah, my name was in like 3 of them, and then like they all. But I probably would have like kept doing that. They all kind of like. It's not like I stopped. I guess we stopped some of them, but I don't know. There was always like a reason where I kind of consolidated. Otherwise, I probably would have just like they were all successful and nothing ever happened. I probably just kept going like that forever.
Yeah.
And I think I was really like running myself down. I'm a very like the ability to recognize that guy being like, I'm getting tired, I need to take a step back, I think is not ingrained in, like, you know, whether it's Irish Catholic Guild or whatever our generation is or whatever. I find that hard to just be like, you can go to work. You know? It's like, but you'd probably be better if you gave yourself a little bit of a break. You know, that's the real thing, is when you realize it's not just lazy. You're not just taking a day off. There's a point to it because you regenerate or you get inspired or whatever.
What's something you haven't done that you want to do? There has to be something that you think about. Like, God, I still need to go do that. Has to be. Nothing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm not much of a traveler. I feel like,
I'm not really a bucket list person either.
I'm not a bucket list person either, but my answer to that is everything.
That's where I'm at.
Everything I see, I'm like, that would be
anything.
awesome. That would be great. Like, I'd love to do that. I'd love to see that. That would be cool. Like, there's actually in the LaGuardia, no, maybe it's JFK. There's like, they have like little like travel quotes, and one is like, I haven't been everywhere yet, but it's on my bucket list, and I fucking love that quote.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see it. Why the fuck am I here if I don't want to see it all? Right? Like, what's the point of being here?
When I'm like high at night and the screensaver on my TV is going because I just have it on but not watching anything, I just start like I'll take a picture of the thing on the TV and reverse image search it and like make a note of where it is. Like, I need to go.
Oh, you mean the screensaver is a picture?
Yeah. Because like it's like these beautiful like scenery and landmarks and stuff. I was like, I gotta get to Wyoming. I gotta get to the cliffs of Ireland.
There was a picture.
Really?
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed. Although I think I'm pretty unique in that because I was talking to Wonton
Cliffs
Don
of
about
Moher?
it, and it's just like the Cliffs of Moher to me look a lot like kind of where I grew up. Like, it's just like Newport is very cliffy and shit like that, and it's not quite as big, but it's.
I'm not a views guy like that, so I think a lot of that shit. I'd be like,
Dude, I've become. I was driving back to New York Monday morning, and I was like driving through the mountains, and I was just like. I've tried to be better at like recognizing when something like affects me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
I'm remember I like
I
that.
shouldn't say
Like,
that I'm
just
not a
seeing
views
it.
guy because I do appreciate it. Like, I can be like,
Dude,
that's
mountains
fucking
are
sick.
unbelievable.
Yeah, but mountains, bro.
Dude, like
mountains.
honestly,
But-
I was just driving. I was like, these mountains are unreal.
I don't
It's
know
just
how
very
everybody
fleeting.
doesn't crash their
Colorado.
car. Like, I just stare at these mountains like, look how big they are. Man. Like,
No, I get that
so
vibe too. I
cool.
get that feeling too. But like, maybe it needs to be a little more natural. Like when we were on top of that building, I didn't give a fuck about that.
Nah, the building didn't do it for me either.
Maybe it's got to be more
It didn't
nature.
move. Yeah.
But even that, I'm like, that was cool. And then I just kind of like, you know,
Well, maybe you just haven't found the right nature for you.
Maybe.
Maybe you're like
I do
me.
want to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
exist in the same world we're in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can
and we live in New York City where we don't see the sky ever.
I know.
And then the Northern Lights are a 5-hour flight away. It makes no sense to me
Yeah,
that
to
we
not
just
do it.
don't go.
I know. I'm with you
Like,
on
I'll
that.
book
I get
that right now.
I mean, I'm going officially going to Yellowstone.
I sent John a text about going to Minnesota. I was like, never been to Minnesota.
Experience it all, baby.
I mean, it's just like,
I've been in Minnesota in July. I was like, I'm in.
there's just so much out there. And
Yeah.
then
I would like to see Minnesota. Can I come? on this
I
trip?
would,
Yeah.
July.
It's OAR concert.
End of July, yeah.
Okay, that's
I
all.
know it's
You're
going
going
no,
for
it's
a
a
year.
OAR
fest-
festival.
festival.
That's
Oh.
unbelievable.
Like Green Day,
I actually just texted my
Hozier.
buddy this morning.
That is
About going to that?
That's
Nice.
worth going to. I thought you were just gonna like go to Minnesota.
I would love to see all the lakes and just, I mean, there's just so much.
Well, that's
out
kind of
there.
the thing is like,
let's
that
go.
kind of shit is everywhere. You know, it's like.
Hang on, real quick. Sorry. This fucking festival. I wasn't a festival guy when we were younger because it was just all
wasn't our
like
bands.
fucking like EDM and shit like that. Festivals now. I mean, again, I'm sure it was. They were like this before, but
Yeah, there was, like,
now
jam
I'm
band
now I'm
type
paying
shit,
attention.
yeah.
It's Hozier, Alabama Shakes, Train, Sheryl Crow, Father John Misty, Fall Out Boy, Weezer, OAR, Motion City Soundtrack, Green Day, Sublime, 311, Garbage, Semisonic.
God.
That's a fucking
That's right.
monster fucking.
We made it to when just our music is now like
Yeah.
that.
That's,
Yeah.
that is,
awesome.
that's an important thing too. Like I started to.
I'm wearing a Jimmy Eat World hoodie.
In terms of like the content world, when like life is long, where it's like there comes a time where we can tell these stories that like are now untold stories or forgotten stories that like you know what I mean. Like
It's a podcast idea, Untold Story.
Well, I wanted to. I'm thinking about doing a new YouTube series that is
So it's like
all the best.
cyclical or whatever that word is.
Well, it's more just. It's not really cyclical. It's more linear in the sense that like these now become like nostalgic stories. You know?
But there's new fans that don't know.
Yes,
them. Yeah.
that part. Yeah. I wanted to do all of the best off the field sports stories, and like if in 2012 or some shit, you were to blog the Cal Ripken, Kevin Costner rumor story, people would be like, why are you writing that? That's like 2 years old, 5 years old, whatever. Now it's like 10, 15 years old. People don't know that. And they would be like, wait, what? Kevin Costner fucked Cal Ripken's wife? And it's like, now you have this whole new treasure trove of shit that is like, now fair game again, because it's not just old. It's now,
it's fundamental.
Yes, yeah. And it's like, now I can do all of that. It's like all these stories that.
Can you crack me up? This whole thing has been like, where do you want to go? Bucket list. What do you want to see? Yeah, I want to do a YouTube series about a 2012 Cal Ripken story.
That's part of why I get off on that stuff. Like if I'm successful about that,
the Northern Lights exist. You want to talk to the camera about Kevin Costner?
But you know what? I've always felt this way. Like I am more about like people than I am places.
Yeah,
and I think that's why I do this job. And like. Even like when I was a little kid, when I was born in New York, moved to Philly, went back to New York. So then as a young kid, I had friends from New York, and then I made friends in Philly. And when I was gone, I lost friends in New York, and when I was back, I lost friends in Philly. And so it was right around AOL type shit. So it was like early on, it was a lot of chat rooms and buddy lists and like talking like that, because that was just how I kept up with my friends.
Yeah.
So from the time I was like, I don't know, 10 years old, I was kind of doing this shit, you know what I mean? And I think it kind of shaped like who I was, because now I'm much more like, the amount of like interacting I do on the internet, I think would make you sick, but I like doing that with people I don't know, you know?
That is true. I never really thought that. Like I always make fun of you, not make fun of you, but like I always acknowledge how much you text.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're always texting
connecting
with people.
Yeah. And sometimes it does make me sick too, but it's just like, whereas, watching you travel around, I'm like, that's exhausting.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing. I acknowledge that it's like cool. I'm just like, I don't know if it doesn't motivate me to get up and go do it, I don't know if I'm going to do it, It's like if I wanted to do it, I would
just try it.
I do have to
It's
try
like gay
it.
sex.
Because I mean, there is a real thing.
I didn't think I was going to like the dick in my ass.
There's a real thing to be said about like your brain is fried by the algorithms and like the need to do it. And if you just somehow were able to put your phone put your phone down and just force yourself to do it.
What's crazy is I have drastically cut back, and it's still a lot. But I mean, there was a time, again, doing different shows and the amount of talking and texting and all that. It was crazy.
Look, we here at KFC Radio, we talk about it ad nauseum, in fact. We love going out. We love going out, getting involved, getting in the mix, be it at concerts, be it at sporting events, be it at comedy clubs, Broadway plays, art shows. We're all over the place. That one you can't get on Gametime, but the rest of you can. You know how much we love Gametime, and now with their brand new Gametime Picks feature, they are making it even easier to get to a game. Gametime's Picks filters out the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of seats. Let's see let's take a peek at the Gametime app right now. See what's in town this weekend. I am not around. Oh, Celtics are in town. Got C's in town. The weekend. No, that's not in town just yet. What else we got? Heat Nets, Golden Knights at Devils, Thunder at Nets, Keith Urban in town, Mavericks at Nets. We got all kinds of games. Celtics at Knicks, that's the one though. Celtics at Knicks. You just pull up your if you want to go to Celtics Knicks, all you have to do is pull up the chosen event, that one, and then you hit the GT Picks button at the top of the screen. I'm staring at it right here. It's right in the middle of the screen. You can't miss it. You want to tap that, and it will filter out all the fluff. Okay, it's only going to give you the best deals right for you. And what are you waiting for? I'm going to go buy these Knicks tickets right now. You can do the same by downloading the Gametime app today and use code KFC to easily score deals with the new Gametime Picks feature. What time is it? Gametime. Who? Big week. We're down here in New Orleans right now because it's not the itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. It is Super Bowl. It is Super Bowl licks, Super Bowl 59, and you can get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns, super key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you have a shot to score big by betting them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Are you ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. I don't know. If I had to pick someone, it's probably Kelsey. Kelsey's going to get it done. Taylor's in the stand, the big stage, the bright lights. They all show up for those. And by they all, I mean Travis and Taylor. Eagles going to win the game, but Kelsey's going to score. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That is new DraftKings customers, $5 bet, $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KFC. That's code KFC for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Did you see what happened when Rio went to Paris?
No.
People were saying that she spoiled the end of Survivor because she obviously used the prize money to go to Paris. I was like, do you or London,
Yeah.
not even Paris, London. Like, do you fucking people think that
Chicks in the office.
that like almost like anybody here can't just buy a ticket to London? Like if she was there for like a month at like the penthouse fucking hotel or whatever, but it's like she just
I
a
think
ticket's like $1,000 to go to
the
London.
average-
You know what
I
I
think
mean?
it's like a couple hundred.
Yeah, it's like what are you guys fucking talking about?
Abercrombie being the presenting sponsor of her podcast might have
But even
paid for
beyond that,
ticket.
like, she definitely could. But like,
Yeah.
you're a editor here. You probably can break off some
way
change and go to.
Rhea flew to London probably cost a couple grand.
Sure.
You can
Well,
get
you
to
can,
London
though.
for $300.
right. Hop on Spirit Airlines.
Well, I'm flying to. Me and Bob Fox are going to Cardiff, Wales, July 4th week because Oasis' first show back, which is just crazy that we're
Yeah.
going to there.
Yeah.
And first class is like 15,000. Yeah,
That's
Really?
crazy.
That's not
But-
worth it.
No,
but
that's not worth it.
I'm looking, since we have that week off, I'm looking at going somewhere else in Europe first and then going to Wales.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, should I just like fucking spoil the hell out of myself and go to like Greece and get one of those like infinity pools looking over the
Bro, yeah.
things?
It's easy to spend another person's money, but when you're single, don't have kids, don't have mortgage, all that shit, like you should do that.
Isn't that kind of the depressing part too, though? Is like it's just
Yeah,
always
but that's
like,
why you do the fun shit to
Yeah.
make up for if you're depressed
not to
by
get-
it. If you
Well, the
there's plenty
depressing
of people who
part
are
is
not
like I get
depressed
all
by
these
it.
experiences, or like I want to do all these things, but it's like I want someone to do.
Well,
them
that's
with.
the ultimate paradox too, though. It's
Right.
like it's always like raise your.
That was like the Simpsons. Like you can see where Jackie's heart just
No,
broke.
I'm not ashamed of saying
She doesn't
that.
need a man to do that, bro.
No,
She's
I've
already done
gone
that.
places by myself. I'm going to Florida. Right, we're right next week right now.
Yeah.
I'm in Florida right now.
I'm already there, baby.
That was crazy.
Like I'm waving from the beach right now. But yeah, it would be cool to like go to Greece with somebody, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but I mean, people like a partner is different than the kids too. But I feel like a lot of times, you end up giving, your 30s and 40s to like raising kids, and then it's like, oh, I can go wherever I want now. It's like, yeah, but you're like 50 or 60 years old. 50's all right, but like if you're old enough, it's like, oh, I have an empty nest now. It's like, yeah, and you're fucking in your diapers.
Do you?
You're dead.
You talk about like with the kids and stuff like that. I always feel like, and it might just be my memory. My parents might have a different memory, all that good stuff. But like, I don't feel like my parents stopped living their lives for us, and I'm happy about that. But
Yeah.
like they were still always traveling, and they would not always, but they traveled enough, and they went to shows and movies, and they did things enough. Like I knew, like I didn't know it in the moment, but now looking back, I'm like, that's awesome that my parents still had a life.
Yeah.
Mine. We
Stops.
were pretty poor, and like my parents didn't do anything, and they still kind of. I feel bad for them. Like I feel like now they're too old to go do stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's I keep saying like do stuff, but I know you have kids, but you can take them to Epcot.
Well, that's
you
the
know?
thing. I think if I wasn't divorced, I think it would probably be different. Because
Yeah.
it's like now it's like.
Could you do like
I-
trips with just them and like go to?
Yeah, it's always weird. Like we got to get a Disney trip like done by like they're getting older. I still want them to have like the magic of it, and it's like a lot harder to plan when it's like.
Bringing 15 of us down.
Yeah, you're gonna go. You're gonna stay separate. And it's like a whole fucking thing. And but if we do it together, that's a whole fucking thing. So it's like my experience. I think is probably different than if if you're one family and you just kind of let's all just go together. It's different than like, well, I have this week off. You have this week off. Do you want to come? It's just a fucking thing. And then that's my main thing with a lot of this. Whether it's kids or just the logistics of it all, it's just like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. And I don't like things.
I think that's
I don't
why
like things.
that's why I'm weird about money too. Is like just having to hear about it growing up from my parents, and then just like 5 people sleeping in one hotel. It's one of those things where like you see all the things that you hated and you just don't want that in your life. So like I'm not like nitty with money because I'll spend like $400 at dinner, but it's just like I constantly want more. I never want to be in a
That's a good way to
position.
Yeah, it's
a good way to live
like
life.
the worst place to be.
That is quite literally like the least happy way to live life.
Yeah, it's
I get
tough.
no, I'm not
It's
knocking it.
tough.
Plenty of people who do live that way, but it is, it does feel like it's never enough because if you just keep kind of
Thank God for Bitcoin.
Do you have a number you would sell at immediately?
Oh no.
So then what's the see? This is why my thing with money. It's not fucking real, dude.
That's
like
the other thing, John.
The only real money that like I have or anyone has is the paycheck I get every 2 weeks. Everything else is just fucking made up and like I don't need it.
Because if it's part of your net worth and you need it, it's available. It's just you want that number to grow and for you can buy a house with it.
Right.
So like it is.
But so then why don't you have a number that you would use? I'm a user.
It's not a
I like to
it-
use the things I buy.
Yeah.
Be it shoes or what or like like money. I like to use it. I'm like I got it. I should use it. Like when are you going to use your Bitcoin?
I do think Bitcoin's different because the growth potential is just so much more than just like the cash sitting in your bank account.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the number?
If it hits
it's not
$1
a number.
million,
It's
you're
it's like
selling your
okay,
coins.
let's say I want to buy a house.
Oh, yeah, it's a life
I can
thing.
take a down payment out of
Yeah.
Bitcoin and buy a house. With
Right.
it.
Yeah.
If I have kids, I can take out 2% a year out of that to pay for tuition.
Dude, I understand how money works.
I'm just saying.
like what number?
But I know I get what he's saying.
I will
It's
never-
not-
I
it's
will
not the
never
time,
mass
it's the-
sell it,
It's the
ever.
stage
Okay.
in life.
Okay, I see.
It's like if I need
It will
the money,
pay.
it's there.
I've taken money out of it to do stuff before.
Okay, so you have sold. That's what I mean.
I've taken little pieces out because it's like, what is the point of having a net worth if you're not
If you
going to
don't use
use
it,
the money
yeah.
that
Right,
you
right.
have?
Well, like I'm afraid of being like the guy who like my house renovation has been very bad, and it's been way more expensive than I thought, and like ran into so many more problems, and I'm like freaking out about that. But I'm also like, people usually make their money to buy the house or to renovate
It's
the house.
scary.
Those are
scary to
those are the
spend.
things that you do. So I'm like fuck that. I have a gross fear of, especially like I said, it ended up not being exactly how I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, I don't want to be the guy who everyone thought like, oh, I have so much money and I blew it or or I'm the
Yeah,
guy. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's what I worry about, not really the money. It's like
Right.
almost. Then I'm like, what do I?
You worry about being the story.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And but then in a literal sense, I'm like, all right, if I just get through this renovation, then it's like, okay, now I have like the house. Even that, I don't know. Like, if I had like if we were all living there full time, it would probably be differently. But when I have the kids, this big house, and Shay's in this room running around, Keegan's over here, the yard is there, the pool is there, especially as they get a little bit older, I think they'll use all that and it's fun. But when they're not there, I'm like, I could be in a room this big. I could have the kitchen there, the bathroom there, my bed here, and my couch here, and I'd actually like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hate how like being in an empty house. So I'm like, if I didn't have kids and all that, I'd probably live in like a regular ass apartment. It's maybe a little bit like fancier,
Yeah.
but so it's like, but if you're, what's the point if you're not doing it for the kids or for the house or those are the big things in life, you know what I mean? So
But also, I was just
the big
I
expenses
think
in life, I should say.
part as whenever you talk about kids, I always try and think of myself as a kid, and I think like as a kid, I always you just said sorry to clarify why I'm saying all this. When you said like you're doing it for the kids, like when I look back as I'm glad my parents weren't doing things just for me. I'm glad that they, and again, I probably didn't put it all together as a kid.
Yeah.
But like as I get older, I'm like, that's awesome that they were. Still doing
I'm not
shit.
like, I know what you mean. I'm just saying that like, I think my kids don't realize right now that like there's a pool that they can swim in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hopefully, if I raise them right, they'll look back one day and be like, that was cool that we had a pool to grow up in.
Right,
And just
right.
take everything for fucking granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't. There's not like. It's not like I stopped going out because I had kids. When I had kids is when I stopped going out.
Like, do you ever have a
Like-
babysitter?
No, I don't really do that.
See,
But
I
get that-
always had.
But that's
Yeah.
different because it's like when I have my
They
kids.
all
I-
molested me. But don't get me wrong. Every single one of them took advantage of me.
we watched porn together and shit, but no, I don't know. I would like to like. I think this generation is very weird in that I saw some stat that was, and these are fucking who knows what these surveys are, but it was some quantifiable percentage of how much more involved this generation of parents of dads are with their kids, and I can absolutely attest to that. Just like watching the way it works, like. and not even that, like our dads were bad dads, they were great dads, but they weren't at practices, they weren't at everything all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I see me and the crew of dads are at everything. We're at the parent-teacher conferences, we're at the sports, we're at the dances, we're at everything, you know?
Bro, I see it with my brother. He has 2 kids, and the generational difference between our parents and his generation of parents, it's so incredibly different. And like this kind of is related to it, but kind of not. Like our parents' generation, you know, they were still coming off their parents who are the worst generation of parents ever.
Yeah.
And then our parents kind of like still like hit us because like that's what they knew from their parents. But then we are just like so good to our kids and so involved in all that.
Right.
And it segues kind of with like that generation didn't believe in like therapy and like
all that
having
shit,
feelings
health,
and any of that shit. And then our generation just like understands humanity.
If I ever hit my kid,
dude,
I spanked him even, like I would be.
John, were you?
Was I? No, I
Spanked?
mean, I got like whacked a time or two, but no, I was not like someone. Who
I was in
got
constant fear.
Yeah.
I was hit nonstop.
Really?
Not or spanked, hit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like painfully, like not good. I resent them. Yeah.
the picture that Nate has painted of his parents. 5 people
I wouldn't say we have
in
a good
hotel room.
relationship, Kevin. I think there's a reason I'm 36 and unmarried.
I mean,
And they know it.
You fucking know it, Mom.
Oh, it's so tense. And they know it, and it's unspoken about.
I like to hear it out on podcasts.
What
they're for.
That asshole Viva La Stool's clipping this and sending it to my parents right now.
So Carmunicate. I also think that like I would have again if I was still married, like when I have the kids is when I'm spending time with the kids. I'm not gonna get a babysitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a couple days a week to do all that shit, so I do it then. So when I'm on, that's also what's tough about like when if you're a single parent, like at least for me, like you do everything. In a way, I almost think it's better. I'd rather like I do everything. I'm with them around the clock. I am their chauffeur. I am cooking them dinner. I am hanging out with them. I'm doing the fun stuff. I'm doing the homework. I'm doing all that bullshit. And then I'm off. You know what I mean? And I almost think that's better to do it than just like one level of like.
But do you ever we actually kind of talked about it with Tommy Veter, which is out Monday. We're really fucking with
We are in a
timelines here.
time warp right now.
It's already been out. It was
Yeah,
out
no,
3 days
saying
ago.
that.
You already heard
It came
it.
out on Monday.
Yeah.
I just watched.
See, I'm not good at that. But I had brought up the article in the Atlantic that I read was called like the Antisocial Century. It's a very good article, very interesting. But it's about just basically how humanity has been moving away from each other since like the 60s. Like it's not everyone thinks it's the phone. It was about the car, and then the car built the suburbs, and we all started liking our own space and
And the racism.
And it was all like
redlining.
It's not been healthy, like all that, because a line I like a lot is families teach us love, tribes teach us loyalty, but the village is what teaches us tolerance.
This is crazy. This is another note that I wrote down. I was at Thanksgiving, traveled to my parents' house from my brother's, like an hour or so drive, and we're sitting in traffic in DC. I'm like, I don't think humans were meant to build these buildings and travel on these roads. Like, humans were meant to be in communities and probably not travel thousands of miles all the time.
Right.
It's like, none of this is natural to me. Like, I think it seems weird to me, but kind of what you're saying, like, there's no community anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, we've fallen away from that.
In that, it was talking about how basically in like child rearing, an important aspect of it, I guess, or childhood as a whole, is alone time, not alone time, but unsupervised time. And like
There's not a lot of that these days.
That's what it was saying, where it was like that
riding bikes
it
and
was
stuff?
talking about how the problem is getting like trickling down to being younger, where like it was saying that like humans, adults and kids don't really get it anymore, which is like, hey, you two are having conflict. You got to fucking figure it out. Like everything doesn't have to be. You don't need a mediator for everything. Like it's a necessary human skill.
Or you don't
like,
figure it out, but you just like put your head down and kind of get through it.
Right,
You know,
right.
It's like, doesn't be spoken about, but you have to sit in it and live through it.
Yeah, it was talking about like the different fucking echo chambers. We all have our own individual one, and there's basically like no one has unsupervised time with people that they are in conflict with, and you gotta just fucking figure it out and keep moving forward.
It is interesting. I mean, even just the amount of time. It's like my kids are either with me, with a teacher, with a coach with a like. You know, it's very rare. Like I actually, again, when they're with me, I try to like spend as much time as I can with them. But I also will be like, go play video games by yourself. Go listen to Taylor Swift by yourself. Because it's like I just want to always be there. You know, because I think it's important to be. Riding bikes is crazy. Like my kids, we got them a bike. We got them a set of bikes this past Christmas because I felt like I was like, you guys are like 8 and 9 years old. You have to have a bike.
Yeah.
They don't really use it.
Really?
Because you can't, like, they don't just go ride. I mean, I guess, like, I should ride bikes with them. Like, let's go for a bike ride. Maybe then we would do it all. But it used to be like,
We would just go ride
go.
bikes.
And now I can't,
Is that a foreign concept to you? We would just go ride bikes.
Yeah, like I feel like you guys always talk about like being left alone, like just being like, oh, I'll come back for supper. I never was like,
dude,
left
right
alone.
now, if I was like, where's Shay?
Yeah.
Where is Shay and Keegan? I don't know where they are. And people were like, they'll be back in 6 hours. I'd be like,
But there
call
wasn't
the police.
the
Call the fucking
anxiety
police.
of that when we were kids. We would just be home by 6. We would be home. We'd ride our bike back at 5:30. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
it's different
And-
now. Like,
But there's no reason for it to be different.
because technology has consumed us.
But like they're like
There was
child
still kidnappers
kidnappings
and
aren't
shit.
up
Yeah,
and
yeah,
child
But I think
molestations
the
aren't
fear
up
of it
and
is all up.
but the
because-
fear of it is
It's
but
all
the
fear.
fucking
The knowledge
but
of it, the
reality
fear
it
of
isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just knowing and hearing the stories and the story. You don't
Yeah.
need the story.
Right.
I don't want to be the guy who got his kids kidnapped. Drop the ball.
You know what I learned? Okay, you know how like women have like an obsession with
true crime.
true crime? It's because in this like the science of rubbernecking or whatever is evolution wise, when we see something, we obviously want have a need in us to figure out what happened so we could like go back and tell the tribe like don't do this or whatever and warn them. And like women obviously are like always in danger of
Yeah,
whatever.
You're
So-
pretty kidnappable.
They have we're like so easily
always.
kidnappable. So we're always kind of like, what's going on there? How'd that person get killed? Because evolution wise, it's not just we're sick fucks, but I mean we are, but like also
I can see that logic.
right?
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting. That
But
way.
it doesn't have to make you horny.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, the fact that you masturbate to it is the problem.
Is that a thing too?
Chicks, yeah. Was that a thing?
Oh, they
that-
just want to fuck all the serial killers.
Yeah. What do you-
yeah,
is that a thing? It's like the thing.
No, I
I
thought you
like
meant
their
they get
murder.
horny when listening to the podcast. Do
I
they?
think there is a part of it that
I don't want to
mean,
get.
I'm not
like-
speaking about you personally, but I think I think
they-
some women are I don't know about horny is the right word. That was a joke, but like
Intrigued
and like I don't know a little more about this
Yeah,
kind of deal.
This is so weird that like, so sometimes. No, I'm not gonna say it.
What?
Proceed.
Like when I have sleep paralysis, it's like so scary because like there's demons like coming, whatever.
Yeah.
The only way for me to like beat because I'm so scared in the moment.
You fuck them?
No, but like the
Oh,
thing.
that's where she was going.
Well, the
felt
thing
that way,
right next to scared is like horny. So the only way if I realize I'm in like a sleep paralysis state, and sometimes I can't like always realize it, but if I like shift the mindset to horny, done.
Wake up?
It's so much easier. Like then I just fuck the ghost and
Demons
then
are
I
like,
wake
this
up.
chick is a freak, bro. Get this pervert away.
Yeah, like I used to always like just be like brutally by these ghosts.
Jackie.
Sorry. But now
You don't have to tell this on a podcast.
No, she's told it. She's told it.
Yeah, I have
The brutally was a
is-
new note.
No,
No,
like,
I always thought it was a little sexy.
No.
Apparently it's
There was
brutal.
actually, I want to clarify. There was only 2 times I was by the ghost, but for the most part, they're like crawling towards me, like whatever.
Jackie.
But now it's like I can take control, like I can take my like femininity, whatever. And now if I just like shift it to be like, yeah, come here, babe.
Get over here, you bad boy. There is the argument to like if people always say like rape's not a sexual thing, it's a power thing. Like, well, you take the power back by being like, I'm fucking loving this.
Dick, dude.
Get
off
down,
in 2
go, get on your
seconds.
back. I'm fucking you, dude. Like, guess what? The power's gone.
I was watching there was like a true crime documentary, and this guy was like trying to say that he didn't rape this girl, and he was like, I didn't even know her, like I hardly knew her, and I was like. In my head, it was like kind of the joke. It's like raped her, like I hardly knew her. So now whenever like I see like some kind of true crime, I go raped her. I hardly knew her. It's a little inside joke with myself.
What is that? What is that original joke?
hilarious.
It's like
Just like a,
yeah,
it's usually
like
like I'm playing poker. Poker, I barely know her.
Right.
Raped her. I hardly know her.
It's actually like a pretty like first name basis typically type thing. Not even first name basis. Sometimes.
That's funny.
I didn't know that took a turn, brother.
All right, Mr. fucking dark and brooding. All of a sudden, can't talk about rape. Settle down.
Mr. What? I didn't hear you.
You're like all dark and brooding.
Mr. My
Talking about your
parents hate
parents
me.
hate you. It's like we've all got our stuff. Okay.
Honestly, the
Jackie's got rape ghosts.
Get
You
rid
got
of
your
my one
parents.
ghost.
the hitting wasn't as bad as like the verbal abuse and like the manipulation and stuff, honestly. But
I can imagine. I can
Yeah,
imagine
no,
that.
that was-
Mr. and Mrs. Dog were apparently just fucking brutal.
when you're the third and they didn't want you to begin with, it's tough.
Jackie's heart's broken twice.
Yeah,
now.
like,
What else you got in your notes?
Oh yeah, let me see. Let's see what else I got.
you got your house of horrors over there.
Where's the notes at? There it is. Let's see. Do you think it's crazy people work their entire lives? Do you think that's what life should be? And like you go to work, you drop your kid off at daycare in the morning, you don't see them all day. You see
No,
them for,
yeah. This goes back to what I was talking about before. Of like, there are people who are just like, I live in a hut on the beach and I bartend and I surf and life's incredible. It's that old man proverb, you know, like.
There is all yes, completely agree.
You just work for the man, then you die, and that's life.
But then you think about like percentage wise, the people who live in a hut by the beach,
It's like 0.
they're not all loving it.
But no, that ties into the grass is always greener.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
yeah, I wish I had a house and a 401k and a family. You wish that you had freedom to surf all day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's forever.
But the
that,
whole
but-
concept of, it goes back to like whatever, the work week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And now with technology, it's never ending work week. And, first thing people do in the morning, check their emails. Last thing, close their laptop, check their emails. Society's just built around working for, these bazillionaires and nothing trickles down, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that's normal? It should be normalized? And like, is that what society should be?
I mean, it was probably worse back in the day, right? It was like manual labor for 18 hours
before-
instead of dicking around on your computer.
Yeah, but like, I understand everybody needs a job and like society has to continue, but do you ever just like think about the whole concept of like what society is?
Yeah, no, I get that. I also feel though, like, you mentioned like you send your kid to a nanny all day because you go to work. And it's like, but it used to just be like,
The mom
this
is-
half of the gender takes care of that, and this half of the gender takes care of this. And now we're kind of all stuck in the middle where it's like we all work and all have to do all the shit too.
Well, that goes back to, should two parents have to work to provide for a household? Probably not, I would say.
No.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean that something, there was an inflection point at whether it's inflation or I don't know what, but it was like, my dad I think was making like 90 grand and it was like
It's not
Right for
inflation. It's not inflation's just such a catch-all buzzword. It's not inflation.
but I think it's like inflation in like the housing market. Maybe it's like a specific thing where it's just like houses used to cost,
It's
100 grand, now they cost
manipulation
a million.
by rich
you know?
people to keep
It's-
us poor.
It's billionaires.
Yeah, it's manipulation.
I'm the biggest anti-fucking billionaire in the world. And you want to know why? Dave Portnoy.
He's not a billionaire.
Nope.
I don't
Doesn't
know.
care about money anymore. You don't need Dave.
Yeah.
Dave
Right,
is
if
not a
Dave doesn't
billionaire.
care and you have 400 billion.
Dave has, according to him, and through his words and his actions, unlimited money.
Unlimited, yes.
He has said expressly, publicly and privately, is it to Barstool about Barstool Sports, does not care about making $1 from Barstool Sports. Dave is not a single billionaire.
Yeah.
He
Not
does
even-
like.
not even
Not
close.
even
Then
tiny.
why does someone have 400 billion?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right. I mean, you'd have, Dave has to be like 5 times his entire existence to get, I think he's like a couple hundred million.
Right.
It's like multiply everything Dave did and all the money he has by 5.
It's crazy.
And then you get to 1/400th of Elon Musk, right? He has like 400 billion right
Yeah.
now. Like
Dave,
that's
Dave
crazy.
honestly like completely changed. I was always like, yeah,
But I don't
mean,
think
like
that's. Do you think that's why like something happened with housing where it's like
But it's not.
we're just going to
It's
charge?
they have all the money and they have all the power to keep us poor, to keep us working 40 hours, 60 hours a week, to keep them rich and to keep us scared from going to live on the beach in the hut. It's all connected.
Yeah, I get that. I do understand everything you're saying, but I also just think there is something direct of like your salary in comparison to your housing costs. I think is just way out of whack.
Yeah,
now.
I see that.
It used
chart.
to be
It's
like, I mean, you made 90, and the down payment I needed to put was like 40 or something like that, and now it's like you make like 120. And you need to put down like 600. Something happened there. I don't know what it was.
BlackRock bought up all the houses.
Yeah, or the housing like the 2008 crisis was housing mortgage related. Something happened there where it's just like It's impossible to get a fucking home.
Yeah,
that's a big problem. That's a big problem.
And it's
that's a real
crazy
fucking problem. To be
that-
like, I can't get a house.
I mean, they're so good at controlling us. Like, you need a job or you won't be able to buy this house. It's just like, it's all manipulated. It's all manipulated against you. And I mean, there's a reason they don't like teach you in school about basic finance, because they don't want you to be able to do it. They don't want you to be able to make
I don't know.
money.
You really think that there's
Yes.
like a concerted effort to keep people down, like teachers or not?
Yes.
But on like a day-to-day basis.
I don't think so.
What do you?
Yeah.
Of course there is.
I don't think
Like,
there
I don't
are a
think
lot
your
of
teacher is,
educational
like-
boards.
No.
Yeah.
Like the society as a whole is governed to keep people in line and to keep poor people poor and make rich people richer, and they don't want poor people coming into the rich.
That
people,
I understand.
People
But, like,
do break through.
But I don't
of
think
course.
their your day-to-day is like reflecting that all the time. Of course,
I
know what you're
guess
saying,
I see
but
both
it's like
sides. Where like I don't think there is some
shadowy overlord,
no
board
but
keeping
like
us down. But
the like the longer you live, the more you start to realize like things don't happen like that. It's just more like a person in power. You get the gist that they like things one way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
and
do
they're
it that
gonna-
way.
yeah.
And then so the person who's below you sees that you like it that way, so they do it that way.
I'm telling you, between that and like the algorithm, we're just becoming a like homogenous fucking race. Of, like, we're all gonna be. No one's gonna have any sexual organs, no gender, no nothing, and we're all just be the same preferences, same taste, same everything. We're all just gonna be like bald-headed aliens who think like the same fucking thing. But
And we'll be fine.
yeah,
And
that'll just be
when,
the
when
new
you
normal.
are, you'll be fucking
It'll just
fine.
be the new normal.
Because that'll be
That's
what
how it
you're
goes.
used to. It's just like, we'll be fucking fine.
I do. I don't understand though. Like Dave talking about those meme coins.
Oh God.
Like,
Yeah.
but you really could, once you have a certain amount of money and influence with the internet, I feel like your whole life becomes like insider trading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Dave were to just like pick a sponsor and be like, okay, we're partnering with you, and like tomorrow I'm just gonna talk about you and say that I use your shit, it's gonna go up. And like that's why advertising and why Barstool does well, they come for that. But like and it happens naturally with us. But like when you hit that level, you can just manipulate that shit, can't you?
you
It's
have
like
kids.
legal insider trading. you
Yeah.
know?
Question: how do you feel about advertising like towards kids? Like I was thinking about this when I was home for Thanksgiving, and it's just like they're 4 and 2.5. I'm like, I can't believe they're allowed to advertise at kids.
Like
to
toys and shit like that.
Toys and especially fast food and candy and stuff. I never thought about it till I was with them, and I was like, oh, I don't like this at all.
It's probably immoral, but I'm like, I don't know. That's just the way the life goes.
I didn't know
I
if
think
it-
about
I
all the
didn't-
commercials from my childhood of like, I want that board game. I want that remote control car.
I
And
know
it
if it
was-
had personally affected you because I saw it in real life. I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't like, like when they start watching the internet and they're like watching like appropriate things on YouTube, but then all of a sudden you catch a pre-roll for like something political,
Yeah, it's
or some
crazy.
like medication, or some of the like influencers are like girls that are clearly like they have like an OnlyFans or something like that. They're like, check out my like other page, and I'm like, that was weird. That sort of shit starts to blend, but it's like, I don't know. It's probably always been, do you let your kids watch TV, or do you let them
Yeah, no, like,
ride their
they'll-
bikes alone, or
It
whatever
will
the fuck
affect
it is?
them. They will be a little different.
Right. It's
They'll
just
be
the world
fine.
keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't worry
Yeah,
about it.
it's like
every
how we
single thing.
rode bikes. Like kids now go and like, ooh, you won't believe what I found on YouTube, and they like go like sneaky watch something.
Probably.
There was
I mean,
like that
that's-
one kids show that like was telling kids to kill their parents, and then a bunch of kids were like,
Slender
"Hey, by the
Man
way,
and all
like
that
I'm
shit.
supposed to kill you,"
Yeah.
and they were like,
Yeah.
"What were you watching?" And then they figured
Yeah, it was like
one
if you
show,
don't kill
"You
your
were
parents,
seriously sick."
you're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to take your nutrition to the next level. Meet Huel, today's sponsor. Huel is spelled Huel, and it is the global complete nutrition brand trusted by over 400 million people. That is so many people. That's more people than there are in America, I think. 400 million people trust Huel. Their Black Edition ready to drink is a complete meal in a bottle. High in protein, low in sugar, packed with all the nutrients your body needs to perform and feel its best. We keep these in the office, in the studio. We got a fridge. We got bags of protein shakes. We are Huel to the gill. Huel is a perfectly balanced meal designed by experts to provide all the nutrients your body needs from a meal. Huel takes the guesswork out of healthy eating. It is for your most inconvenient meals. There's no prep, no cooking. Say goodbye to getting hangry and unsatisfying and grabbing unsatisfying snacks. Just grab a Huel instead. It is, again, as I said, we got the fridge they hooked us up with in studio. We got the bags of the protein scoops around. It's what keeps KFC Radio driven and driving. If you don't believe me, take the leap and join the community of hooligans with this exclusive offer for new customers. 15% off plus a free gift. with our exclusive offer at Huel.com, HUEL.com/KFC15. That's 15% off plus a free gift for new customers with our exclusive offer at Huel.com/KFC15. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. Let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Simply Safe. You want to know a not so fun fact? Every 26 seconds, a burglary takes place in the United States. That's according to FBI data. That means by the time this podcast ends, dozens of homes will have been targeted, maybe more, depending on how long we run. Protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe's proactive security system. Simply Safe helps to stop threats before they even have the chance to break in. They're yelling at guys outside. They're, get out of here. Get the heck out of here. Traditional security systems, they only take action after someone has already broken in. That's too late. They're already in the house. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection can help prevent break-ins before they happen. AI-powered cameras backed by live professional monitoring agents monitor your property and detect suspicious activity. If someone's lurking around in the bushes or acting suspicious, those agents see and talk to them in real time, activate spotlights, and even contact the police, all before they have the chance to get inside your home. Also, Simply Safe has no long-term contracts or cancellation fees. Monitoring plans start affordably at just $1 a day. It's a 60-day satisfaction guarantee or your money back 60 days. Visit simplysafe.com/KFC Radio to claim 50% off a new system with a professional monitoring plan and your first month for free. That's Simply Safe, SIMPLI, safe.com/KFC Radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
This is a total shifting gears. But I saw this guy, his theory on this Deepseek stuff was, so Deepseek is the new AI. They are claiming that they did it without NVIDIA chips.
Liars.
And because there's a trade embargo where Chinese countries cannot buy these U.S. Microchips, and he was saying that it's because China wants to invade Taiwan, and by saying they got their chips elsewhere, it would make people less sympathetic to Taiwan. So all of this is just one big China's trying to invade Taiwan, and I was watching him. He's like ex-military. He seems very smart. He knows about technology and all that. But he had his computer set up, and I was just like, what a way to live. Like, I can't even imagine just be like, this is new AI, and they say they don't use chips. It's like, it's because they're trying to take Taiwan. It's just so crazy, man. I mean, you can, like what you were saying before, you can connect all these dots, and I'm sure a lot of these things are true. But it's like, God, it's just a terrible way to live, where everything is that. Somebody sent me a video going, here, this explains it all. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I want to learn about the microchips and like the trade embargo. And it's like, no, it's not making Taiwan a less appealing.
Dante the Don with the best.
The Don lives his life
Dante,
that way. It's like,
I'm trying to find. I sent it to you in a text. Every day he has a new favorite tweet of his that I love. I'm pulling it up right now. It's a quote tweet from Dante. My phone is so slow. Okay. He quote tweets, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot presents the final report on allegations of financial mismanagement by the mayor and others. And it's a picture of like the mayor giving like this presentation. Dante the Don just finished a long day driving to Ohio and can't wait to read all about this. That's how he unwinds.
And he'll read 3 headlines.
Yeah, you're not reading
he
the whole
unwinds by
report.
just reading the financial allegations of a mayor. Like, it just,
Dude, I oddly used to think of Dante, and I always clarify this with I love Dante. But like I used to think of him as like an informed guy. And I remember when he asked to come on this show to talk about, I think it was the Boeing killings or whatever. Or maybe we asked him. I don't know which order it went in. But he came on this show to talk about that. I had read one article. And he was like, well, I didn't know you did your research for this.
I read like 400 words.
I was like, I read one article on a topic we said we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
He's all fired up about that Scorsese and DiCaprio movie. See that?
Yeah. It's the wrongest he's ever been. But
why? Just to be excited for it?
well, just no. Just like his like
finally movies are
Finally
movies
movie-
again.
Oh no.
People-
But my point, that is just because it's in Chicago. That's
Yep.
it.
Said that as well.
That's
said that
all
as well.
he cares about. And it's not just him. It's Chicago in general. It's like, if you told me that there was some book about a serial killer in New York being optioned into a movie, I would not give a fuck that it takes place in New York.
It is a very popular and very good book.
That's fine. But if that was set in New York and not Chicago, Dante would not be talking about that.
Of course not.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
And that's what
100%.
drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably a great book, and it's going to be awesome if DiCaprio's a serial killer and Scorsese's directing it. I'm sure this is all true. It's just the motivation behind it. I was like, oh, what is this? And then I read Chicago serial killer. I'm like,
But
I forget the guy's name, but I think the most prolific serial killer in American history. So much so that there are rumors that I don't believe that it's Jack the Ripper. He moved here, and he was like.
I read that they call this house the Murder Mansion.
It's a murder. It was a murder hotel. He would rent. I don't know what they might have called it, murder mansion, but
yeah.
he was running a hotel that had he would dissolve bodies in it.
Yeah, it had like laboratories and shit.
It was
1892
in Chicago.
How many people do they think he killed?
I don't think they have a number. It's like hundreds
hundreds.
because there's just no way to tell in that era.
Back then, everybody was killing.
It was like he had. It was at the World's Chicago Fair in 1892 where the Ferris wheel was invented because they had to compete with the World's Fair before that, which was in Paris when they made the Eiffel Tower, and they're like, we got to do something crazy. But it's like he was like dissolving bodies. He was doing men and women, I believe, if I remember correctly. But he just murdered. He murdered everyone.
Little twists usually.
Yeah, not what you usually see in
one or the
Criminal
other.
Minds.
Yeah.
I sent a tweet of his to Jeff D'Lo just to rile Jeff D'Lo up, and because Dante's like, finally a non-woke, non-action or superhero movie, 100 emoji, 100 emoji, 100 emoji, and Jeff D'Lo gets on angry, he's like, only 0.2% of movies this year.
I think you could also make the argument like I think it's getting a little silly. It's like DiCaprio and Scorsese are doing it again. I don't know. That feels like a trope to me now. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like those two just teaming up for another like
I've still
epic
never seen
tale.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, it's great.
I've still
a good one.
I've never watched it yet. I need to do that.
But the I want to say one thing before you. The thing with people because I consume a lot of movies, it
to say the least
infuriates me to no end the way people talk about them. It's like, well, you don't see movies.
Yeah.
Like you just fucking read the headlines and you're like, oh, like another superhero movie. Most movies aren't superhero movies. Most movies aren't CGI things. Movies are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Movies
There's
are
so many.
People just don't consume it. It's the same like
advertising
look at
budget.
the nominated ones are all like just go watch those.
To go,
You know
but
what I
like
mean?
I think it's partly internet
advertising.
where it's just like everyone has to share their opinion on everything that we don't know what we're talking about. Like even things like just like the biased news sources. Do you read them?
Right. It's just headlines.
If
you live in
read
a headline world.
It's not really like
live in a headline world,
kind of you can tell what they think, but they're not like overt things. You're like, oh, this guy thinks. You know, like when I read a CNN article or a New York Times article, like, oh, this guy's a little more right leaning. Oh, this guy's a little more left leaning. But when you fucking read it, you can figure it out. It's not like
people don't.
One whole goddamn conglomerate thing. Like you have a top down order of like
Now,
you have to speak this way.
Now, I think if there was like Hollywood budgets, like the reason why like the mid-level comedy is no longer around because people are doing either indie films or like if there was like a discussion about a reason or an effect, cause and effect sort of thing, like then fine. But to just be like,
No, woke.
But even then, most of the people who complain that like comedies don't get made, you don't see them anyway.
right. It's like that. You're the reason they don't is because people like you aren't going to fucking watch them. That's the issue.
They are getting made. I go see them.
Did you see De Niro's movie where he plays both gangsters?
I've heard of it, but I don't know. I try not to watch.
To me,
trailers.
I'm like, I don't know. There's got to be some younger guy who can play the fucking gangsters. We need De Niro again, and he plays both.
Yeah, but De Niro's fucking awesome.
I know he's great. He's great.
Like Killers
But,
of the Flower Moon, De Niro was
Oh, I
fucking
hated
unreal.
that movie. But
No!
I fucking
He was
hated
so
that movie.
good. I thought Leo was. I love that movie. I thought Leo was so good.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, they're great actors, but it's just at some point you have to have new ones.
Yeah.
The-
But there's
Bobby
plenty of
ain't
new
gonna
ones.
be
They're
around
making
for-
new ones,
Chalamet.
right? Like,
Yeah, but like specifically like the mob era. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, do we have young
they're-
mobsters?
I think that genre is going to go out with him and those guys.
and probably should. Like, I don't. I guess
I don't really like them, but I'm just saying, I'd like to see somebody else try.
Yeah.
rather than
Who
just
was in The
de-aging.
Departed? Get anybody from
Man,
that?
I was watching. It was like a Chiefs meme, and it was like the Bills. No, it was the Chiefs being like, "Just fucking kill me, just fucking kill me." And DiCaprio is the Bills, and then they open up the door, and the guy's the refs, and it shoots the Bills, and the Chiefs win. You know what I mean? You know what I'm
Great.
talking about?
The
But
big game is in
that
a couple
scene,
days.
bro. DiCaprio
say
getting
Super
his
Bowl.
head popped
I know.
is one of the all-time like holy shit. It
Yeah.
happens just so quick. They don't like sugarcoat it or tease it or slow mo.
I like that you're an Instagram comment.
Well, I'm not really. So that's what I noticed is like if you put a comment, people are liking it. So now it's always in my feed. I don't know, so that was interesting. It's like, oh, this is what happens when you comment a lot on Instagram, I guess.
It's funny that you're just leaving comments you're like boner 420 guy.
I'll comment very rarely, but like
Comment on like Tommy smokes.
I
I'll
feel
just be
bad.
like, hell yeah, like that rules.
I don't even. I'm starting to like things. I use Instagram to like make videos and post videos and think of it like that. And then I was like, oh, I'm never like giving people likes or comments or love, and like I want those in return.
Yeah.
I want people to do it for me, so I gotta.
I basically only like. I don't.
You like everything.
I don't watch. I just like.
But you like everything.
Yeah.
Because everything I watch it says liked by Feidelberg.
If I know.
But then I always thought I'm gonna keep my like. My likes are gonna be. If you got a like from me, you earned it.
Yeah. Mine is if I know you, I like it.
Yeah.
There's like for sure an unspoken girl currency.
Oh, you guys don't like each other's
with-
shit?
No. Well, I don't like things, but in terms of commenting, like if you want comments, you gotta cash out.
You have to hit them with like a slay girl.
Slay
Yes.
girl,
I
and then
mean,
you get the slay girls from
That
them.
is
And I'd hit-
the
no.
most transparent thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand why you guys do it, and great you have a system. But I just it's like, oh, okay, like you posted like a thirst trap, and it's gonna be fire emoji, slay girl,
Yeah.
like so hot, oh my god, and you know that bitch hates your guts,
Yep.
or talks shit about you or whatever, and she's caps lock, oh my god, queen, and she throws her phone like fuck that girl, because you'll get it back in return. What
We're
a
the
system
best.
you guys got.
It's a good system. It's
Yeah.
pretty much like it's like you put
But
in what
are
you get
you
out.
checking to see who doesn't hit you with a Yas Queen? Like, oh, Samantha didn't hit me with a
Some
slay.
girls for sure are,
I
maybe
will,
not you, but
I will certainly be like, I'm not going to comment on this because I don't think that she's ever commented on mine. But if you
And you can't
if
be the
you are
first.
commenting on mine, then I'll be like, oh my god, I'm going to return the favor. I'm gonna
How
comment back on
often are you
yours.
commenting that you think somebody's hot when you don't think they're actually hot? Or the
That's not
picture's
true.
that great?
Like I will reserve it. Like I don't want to lose my credibility and be like, if you're not looking good, I'm not gonna say. That's good. And I'm not big.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm not big on like commenting or liking photos, which is like I get in
Wait, can you
trouble
just
with
say
a
you do
lot
that?
of people for not like I'm always like nobody's gonna notice if I don't like this photo.
They notice.
They notice.
People
If you
look at
notice-
that
if
shit.
you-
guys too.
Ever looked at that stuff? I think I know
You're
I
a
said this
fucking
last
loser.
show with there was something. Oh, it was a debate me. It was if you ever said that you should kill yourself.
yourself.
If you've like checked that stuff, I think you should kill yourself too.
Yeah.
Do guys ever check? I think I've asked this before. Who watches your story? That I'll check.
No, you should 1000% kill yourself.
See that? We
Yeah,
both went. We both went. No, they went.
Like why?
Interesting.
Because I'm deeply troubled. I just
Yeah.
Because of his parents.
Yeah, you are.
Now, I mean, you do that? You look through your views?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you get a decent amount of views, bro. You got to be just sifting
to-
through.
I waste a lot of time.
That's
To
because
what-
I
to what
understand
end?
when it's like 20 views, it's like, oh, my boyfriend didn't look
Well,
at
if
it.
they
But
would
if
give you a
if have-
search feature so you can type
I know,
in the
but they
people
don't
that you
let you
want
have
to
a-
they
look
don't
at
search
it.
it.
They don't do a search
You
feature.
get to scroll.
Exactly. If
Oh.
it would save me a lot of time if
Well,
I could
yeah,
just
yeah,
type
Yeah,
in.
they want you on their app
I
for as
know.
long as possible.
I know, but they're being petty.
But
Like,
what are
they
you-
know
okay,
that
so
they could.
that's what people
But what
want.
are you
that
both
feature.
looking for? Like, to what end do you want
I
to?
just wanna see
Validation
who's
of
interested
certain
in my
people
life.
looking at your story.
Crazy.
You want?
I can
But
understand if it's
no
like,
one's like seeking out your story, even if they saw it.
No,
It just
but-
happened to be like the next story that popped
people
up.
purposely will or will not look at your story, and you want certain people to look at your
And-
story.
Yes, you do want certain people.
I get
And-
if you're like, I like this boy and I want to see if he's looking at my thirst trap. I can understand that. If you're just like searching for,
I
don't
get
know,
that for like regular
Specific-
people.
yeah,
I don't get
yeah,
that for
for him
people
it's
who have
crazy.
followings of your size.
crazy.
First of all, I don't have a big following.
But you do. It's thousands of people. At least.
It's way
I
more
I mean,
than
like
the
if you're
average person.
300 people.
First of all, if you're watching, please follow me on Instagram. I have not gone up. This is not a joke. In I think 2.5, 3 years.
Oh,
It's
I
been
only go down.
The exact. No, I only go down on Twitter. Exclusively go down on Twitter. Instagram has not. It's been 13.5 for literally 3 years. I love my like 13.5
I'm at that too,
of you.
though. Like my videos are growing, but my following, they literally just push and pull levers. Give you followers, take away followers every time.
I mean, I probably wouldn't follow. I take pictures of raw fish and just like that's about
Should
it.
be
Like,
that
just-
should be your angle, man. And raw fish food.
I'm
guy.
so boring. Like I'm
Well,
on.
then you're not gonna get any fucking views. But wait, so like even see if you post and there's even like a few hundred people, 1,000 people that watch your video, like that's a lot to sift through.
yeah.
No, but it filters
and it
everyone
makes you
who
feel
care about
that
to the
good?
top.
No, it makes you feel terrible, John, because usually they don't look at it.
So stop looking.
but what
The
if they
people you
do?
interact with the most.
What
I'm
if
only
they
talking about.
look?
I only look at like who watches my stories, and it filters everyone who you know, like your mutual
Yeah.
followers at the top. But that's other interesting thing is sometimes I'll see somebody at the top of my list, and like that there's because of the algorithm, it like filters the people at the top who, if you like look at their profile more often, so you can do the math and say I haven't looked at this person's profile in a bit, and they've been at the top of my list. So it's actually math, like girl math, whatever in your head.
Yeah, this is
where
girl
you're
math.
like,
They can crack the code.
This is
but
affecting
they
me as
can't.
much as Tommy Smokes talking about his ChatGPT thing affected me. They're like, I look at you differently.
yeah. No, it's crazy.
Do you know we didn't get to do this on the show? Tommy keeps a list
Oh my God, we can talk.
Oh, I don't know
of
about
all the
that.
people
Yes.
who shower in his apartment.
No, not just
I did know
who
that.
have been to his
Yeah.
Been to his apartment, but then he has a subset that
Yes,
says
yes,
showered.
correct.
It's four people.
Tommy has so many autistic lists, it'll blow your. He keeps a diary of every single day of
He
his
scrolls
life.
through his notes and it's like list on list on list. This is fucking insane.
No, he's a nut.
That guy. Look, we're very lucky he does not have like a taste or thirst for blood.
Yeah.
Because he would for sure be a serial killer.
No.
For sure.
Odd bird. Odd
Really?
bird.
Odd bird.
Last week he liked Diet Coke finally. That was a big
Oh,
day.
finally hit?
Yeah. What else happened last week? Oh, the second episode of Roan's show was yesterday. The Super Bowl is in a couple days. Anything
Oh,
else?
I made a video of
Oh, the Booze Ponies won the dozen.
Oh, let's go!
Congrats,
Real
congrats.
big,
Yeah,
yeah.
And
What are you gonna
are
do
you
without-
losing a teammate or
Yeah.
no?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't think so. If he wants to, I bet he'd be allowed to.
I've heard.
He said they were talking about doing some things together, so I'd imagine the dozen is
good.
still.
I've heard about 80% he will remain.
I think it's probably up to him, right? I think we.
I don't know. I think it's.
But I'm saying if he doesn't want to, then he's gone.
I think Dave and Will again. I haven't spoken to either of them, so everything I hear is just
Well, maybe
hearsay.
you did a couple days ago.
I think they both want it to happen. I think it's up to advertisers. You know, it's all.
Oh,
like-
FanDuel, DraftKings, all
yeah.
that shit. Yeah. That makes sense. I made a video. Did an instant reaction to all the new members of Love Is Blind.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, totally watched that.
They
one.
love that, by the way.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, people in the LIB community really did love it.
Yeah.
What's
But-
LIV?
Love
Oh,
Is
Love
Blind.
Blind.
But one of the guys, I mean, I just trashed everybody. It was instant reaction. It's like just a
Yeah.
gut shot reaction, and saying shit that makes no sense. And this guy Benji like clapped back and made a video being like just making fun back on me. So I'm gonna like that guy. His name's Benji. I was like, that's ridiculous. You're a grown man. You can't be Benji. I was like, Ben is right there.
Yeah.
Just be Ben. And he was like, I'm sorry that I want to like maintain a little bit of my like childhood innocence. And like he went back and forth with me. It was funny. So as of right now, I'm Team Benji for.
Wait, I need to catch up on that.
That's another thing. It didn't make my list, but it almost did. Names are so wild. Like they're just people walking around named like Paul and Gary. It's like little baby Paul.
I'm
I
always
don't know.
fascinated by what
What is a
makes it
name?
and
Yeah.
then when what goes in style and out of style and shit.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like guys with nerdy names. Like, did they like hearing their name said
What's
in
a nerdy
bed?
name?
Like,
I think Gary is. I think
Rupert.
Rupert.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody
or-
getting
yeah,
named
Gary.
Rupert.
It's like, do you really
Gary's
want me
gone.
To, is that going to turn you on
Soder
if
has
I
a
say
bit
your
about
name
that.
in bed?
Gary's like
I don't
out.
think I've ever been. I'm sure I have. I don't think I've ever been called my name in bed.
Yeah, that's another thing too. When people are like, "Oh, you said the wrong name in bed," I'm like, "You say people's names."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think
It's all
I've really ever
weird.
had the
Weird
guy.
thing to do.
Yeah, John. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Rupert is for sure. Rupert's a great one.
There's no way this is good.
I'm pretending I'm someone else, so I recommend you do the same.
I do. We'll wrap up, but I really do want to talk about Carmunicate.
I'm so happy you're
Carmunicate
interested.
is.
Would you
I've
like to
had this
invest?
idea too before. Like,
Wait, what does that mean?
Oh,
Go ahead, Jackie.
the floor is yours.
sharks. But okay, pretty much just it's a card-to-card communication. It's okay. First of all, like I've talked about Girls Who Code. None of you guys have really given me the reaction that I want from that.
What is it?
I don't.
Talking about
Girls Who Code when I did that for a summer.
Girls who code.
Oh, the
yeah.
camp,
Girls Who
the
Code.
Cody camp you went to.
Coding camp I went to. I also forgot to mention like it was an application process, and like 2% of people who applied got
Jackie's a
it.
STEM girl. Yeah.
Okay. It's not a big deal, but like you guys clearly don't understand how hard it was to get in there. And then I was there
Your
9
parents
to
had to write a
5,
big check.
9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday over the summer. Whatever. Anyways, at the end of it, we had to make an app. So I created Carmunicate, which is a car-to-car communication system where you basically use their license plate as a phone number. And it's an app. And then you can so if somebody cuts you off. No, if somebody's, that's a bad example. Somebody's taillight is off. Then you can say, hey, Just so you know, your taillight's out.
You left your gas tank open.
You left your gas tank
you know.
open. Like, let's say you scrape them in the parking lot. You say, hey, sorry, like, here's my information, blah, 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 blah. You see somebody cute. Again, it's probably quickly going to turn into some kind of, like...
The problem is the murdering and the killing and the kidnapping.
The problem
that is always
though, the murdering and the killing. And it's like, if we always stop stuff because of the murdering and the killing...
We would have meant nothing.
We would have meant nothing. So...
It would have meant nothing. Think about taxi cabs and Uber. People are, I'm going to get in the back car of a stranger. It's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
If we stop that.
And do they get murdered and killed sometimes?
Yeah, they do.
That's
Gotta
very
crack a few
rarely,
eggs.
but sometimes.
Gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet, you know?
You have to crack a few eggs to make it.
I'm with Carmunicate, like even
Thanks,
just
dog.
even like a
I mean, they kind of have it on planes. Like, you can communicate with like seatmates.
yeah, it's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
It's a what I want is a little
Not
bit like
seatmates,
I'm like I'm gonna be in so much trouble with my ex-wife if I'm late. Can you please let me go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can you move or something like that? Like, and my thought, yours is a more technologically advanced situation. I wanted something where you have like 5 a year. That's like a horn sound or a light or something
Yeah.
that means like hook me up.
Yeah.
But you can only use it 5 times a year. So if you want to be an asshole, like I'm late to the movies, you can use your pregnancy rush to the hospital thing. But when your wife's going into labor, you're like, I used all my 5.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, babe. You know what I mean? So you got to use them. You got to use them wisely. But just even
Or
a
it should
little
be
something.
like the siren, like
Yeah.
the police siren
Right.
thing.
Yeah, that you can only use. It only pops up in certain events. Press the special button. You got to turn the key at the same time. Whatever it is to make it special. But just some sort of, get the fuck out of my way, or like whatever. Stop rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Something like that. People are dying back here. But Carmunicate. There's
Yeah,
something there.
right. It's like there's so many uses for it. Mostly,
Kidnapping.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly
But then also
it's
you
the
can probably
guy
like
that,
reject things or whatever. I really should have I shouldn't even be giving. It's like always like I shouldn't be giving the people my $1 billion ideas.
Keep
But
it
like
tight.
you could do it.
Sharks.
Ford, DM KFC Radio. We'll talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. All good. You
I
want to
got
bash
2
your
more
parents
things.
a little more?
I got 2 more
Oh,
things.
Okay.
One, John gave a great TV recommendation. Have you talked about it?
Last week with Ron.
We have talked.
Oh, you did talk about
it.
So you've already talked. Okay, good. Great show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, to
you
add
think-
something to this.
Last week with Ron, we discussed.
So
There's layers to this.
I got a little cocky.
I didn't fully flesh this out last week with Ron. There's 2 things you don't do in life. You don't give Dave Portnoy a bet.
I gave him a TV recommendation.
He recommended Paradise to Dave.
you texted Dave?
Unsolicited. And
It's
gave,
not
and gave
like
it like the
That's
seal of
I'm not-
approval.
Dave likes TV.
He does. We went through this
not
with Ron last week.
as,
We don't have to read
Dave and
it.
I do not talk a lot by any stretch, but when we do, we talk about it. It's not totally crazy like that. I was like, yo,
I understand.
But it is.
Like-
I think this. I don't think it's a show he'd like. And so to be like, yo, check this
no,
out.
It's not fan. But Dave is a nerd too. Ups
and downs.
Reply or no?
no. Well, I texted him. It was yesterday.
He's
evening,
debating whether he should undo his recommendation.
No.
Be like, hey, the pilot was great. Episodes 2 and 3 not so much.
But I was clear. I was like, I've only seen episode 1. Episode 1 was really great. I said, and I stand by this. Episode 1 was one of like the more captivating pilots I've seen in a while. In episodes 2 and 3, I started to be
You
more.
didn't like 2?
I liked them both. You want to know what?
I didn't watch 3 yet. So
Okay, so in episode 3, there is a storyline that made me go. It's not even a storyline; it's more of like an interaction. But it made me go, this might be more like NBC
part?
drama. They were playing Wii tennis.
that was so
It
stupid.
was so stupid.
But that was like a lie, or that was real.
well, I was talking
I
to
thought
Ken
they were
Jack
like
about
they were
that.
fucking, and they.
Ken Jack was like, I thought that was supposed to be. I read it as all the viewers were thinking they've been fucking.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
then they were
but they
honestly
held-
like, we were actually playing Wii tennis.
They held hands at that one point.
I missed that then.
I think that was a cover-up story. But either
Either
regardless,
way.
that felt like corny. Like,
Even just the Wii doesn't make sense. Why do you have a Wii?
right. It's
Like at
right.
first, I was like, "Oh, I guess it's because the world ended and they were all rushing to grab whatever they could." But you have much more access to a PS5 or an Xbox than you do a Wii.
Than a Wii,
Like
yeah.
you grab an Xbox.
Yeah, none of
and-
that made sense,
The
yeah.
Wii is kind of weird. I'm like, why the fuck was it like?
well, maybe that
and I think it's
comes
just
into play later.
maybe, but I also think it's just like kind of supposed to be like it's funny. Like it's a Wii. Like we're not playing what you thought we were playing. We're playing Wii because I even go like she's like we were playing Wii and he's like it was Wii tennis actually.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck's the Wii thing?
That was a
all
little bit
about?
corny.
And so that made me go like, this might be more like an NBC drama than like, whoa, this is groundbreaking
Streaming
TV kind of deal.
show, yeah.
Because after the first episode, I was like, this is great. Like, it's great. The first episode's fucking great.
But imagine if you throw out an unsolicited recommendation for a show that is like
I've done it.
To Dave?
NBC.
I've done it.
No, but like
I
but-
was
but it
so
turned out
obsessed
to
with
be-
Severance. I texted because I
That's a good rec though.
Yeah.
But
No
imagine if,
reply.
No reply.
And he's never tweeted about it, so I assume he didn't watch it. But
What
now,
show?
Well, he doesn't tweet about most things. He
wait,
watches.
you're saying the recommendation was Severance?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm saying what if you give the recommendation and it turns out to be like less than like the Blacklist? You know,
Yeah.
like something that's even.
That's the exact show I started to think this might be like the
might be
Blacklist.
Blacklist. Yeah. And
Which
that's-
I love.
They love,
but I
but
would
that's
not
not a
recommend
show
to
that
Dave.
you go, yo, dude.
Yeah.
To anybody, really.
I will
Not
say,
Dave.
after episode 1, John was saying like he was like stopping strangers in New York, shaking them down. Have you seen the show?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I was high. I was fucking. And what also fucked me is the fact that episode 1 came out. Like when I texted him that only episode that was out was episode 1. Episode
Right.
1 was out on Monday. And then on
they dropped 2
Tuesday,
more
they
the
dropped
next
2
day.
more. So
Yeah.
by the time I was recommending to everyone, they were like Nate was the one who told me. He's like, "Did you see 2 and 3?"
more
I said, "No,
episodes,
they
yeah.
weren't out." It was a
Right.
completely, Hulu, a new show starts. A completely new show started. I knew there wasn't the next episode.
He was so excited about it. I told Hubs I had a dentist appointment. I went to a side room and just watched.
Yeah, he was gassed up. He was like, "You have to watch.
Yeah.
It's right up your alley." And I was like, "Nailed it."
You know
I'll
what's
get
so
right up my
funny
alley.
is like I feel like last week with Roan when we were talking about like made men are more scared of Dave, and like I feel like because of you guys,
way
like
more.
I'm so scared of
get the
Dave,
runoff.
but like the other girls, like
Oh,
in
you
the
go to,
office,
like,
because he's
Peyton
so
and them? They'd be
yeah.
like,
I'm like,
"Who
oh, you
the
guys
fuck
were.
about
I
Dave?"
was raised different. Like, I'm
Yeah, you are. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, we don't talk about Dave like that in our house. I have such like
so true.
It's very true.
But you were raised right.
I think it was Megan making money. It was like, how do like we were talking about being
Sydney
scared
Wells.
of sending a text like, oh, I just
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
No.
I threw my phone.
that's literally when talking about Rome last week. That Pitt's probably run its
sounds like a
course, but
great
whatever.
episode.
But we like I told that story. I was like when it was me and Wonton Don, and Sydney was like, I just FaceTime him. You talking DP? Yeah, I just FaceTime him. I was like, "Ooh, you are a fucking maniac, dude."
Maniac. But because I also like when I started, I remember sending. It was more email back then, but I would send like I remember one time he posted. It was when he used to post the jockey picture, and I was like, man, that's like such a funny picture. Like, and I was kind of giving him props, being like, it's funny how you post a funny picture of yourself kind of on purpose because it was a promo picture, a promo post. It was
Yeah.
like, this blog is not going to get a lot of traction, but I'm going to put like a goofy picture of myself. And I was just kind of like talking shop with him a little bit, you know? And I just remember getting like a very blah response being, and I was kind of like, oh, he doesn't do this.
Yeah.
And so I don't do that anymore. But these other people just keep doing that with him. Like, that's
I
crazy.
think if you never had to email with Dave, because like I'm fine, well, obviously, with the way Dave and I communicate. But it was just like he was so clear early on with how he likes to be communicated with.
Right.
And like,
So then I was like, "Whoa."
be it like he'd send you an email and like there would be no email in the body. It would just be a subject. He's like, we're not saying much here. We're just here's what you need to know.
and I follow
just
lead.
tell me what I need to know.
Yeah.
And like I completely respect and like it's almost like a boundary set and like
But these other people sound like they're
they
violating
don't
that boundary.
they were never an email communicator
right,
with them, so they never
right.
understood the boundary.
Right.
And
right. And they're like, yeah, you just FaceTime people. And it's like, no.
no, dude.
Crazy.
do not. But I also think if you talk to Dave, you'd be like, yeah, I don't know, you can FaceTime me whenever you want. It's like, no. He would say that, but no, you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, yeah.
You know
Right.
that's not the case. Fuck off.
Bro, I have to text him every Sunday to see if he wants to do the rundown on Monday, and it's just like blue, just
Rundown,
straight
yes,
down,
rundown, no,
question
yeah.
mark, rundown, question mark.
I really like that. That's very fun, though. I was raised different.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that like in my house. That's really good.
You guys know who Game Day's #1 pour is? It's my old pal Evan Williams, old Evie boy. They are the #1 pour for Game Day, and you will find them cheering with fans in every corner. They do not play favorites. They do not pick sides. From center court to the gridiron and everywhere in between, if you're a fan of Kentucky's first distiller, you should consider yourself a part of Bourbon Nation. Known for its smooth, approachable profile featuring caramel, vanilla, and oak with hints of spice and sweetness, it works well for everything. You know, I mean, I've had my nights with my pal Ev, and you can do it however you want. You can do it shooter, you can do it sipping, you can do it straight, you can do it on the rocks, can do it based in a cocktail like the old fashioned. Doesn't matter. Evan Williams is there for you. Enjoy Game Day's #1 pour. Buy it right now. Join Bourbon Nation. Enjoy responsibly. 21 older. That's it. Evan Williams, Kentucky Straight Bourbon, Bardstown, Kentucky. 43 to 45% alcohol by volume. All right, everyone. Time for a tough conversation. Time to talk about the elephant in the room. Erectile dysfunction. 1 in 4 men, 18 years and older, experience ED, which means that you or someone you know might be experiencing it. It's not a fun time to go through. You gotta do what you gotta do to get it going. You know what I mean? That's why I want to tell you about this new ED treatment gel, Eroxon. That's what you got to do. You got to get Eroxon. It is the first ED treatment gel with clinically proven results that you can get over the counter. And while it may not work for everyone, studies show that there's been success in over 60% of men. Over 60%. The best part, no prescriptions, no online questionnaires. You can just get it over the counter whenever you want. Why wait? Try Eroxon today. Available in stores and online. Visit eroxon.us to learn more.
Oh, and then
One more topic?
my other thing. I was telling this.
are
We
you
can
guys-
end on this. I was telling Jackie this yesterday. Me and Tommy Smokes, we decided that, and I want to say it to the audience, this is what we're doing. 2025, if you're in a bar, you're out, and you say, hey, I think that girl's hot, you have to go talk to her. That's the new rule. Because his soy boy beta generation, they just stare at their phones, and it's all about like Tinder or whatever. And then I'm just old and single.
I was gonna say you're gonna that's not gonna work.
because I'm
that shit is
disgusting.
dead, dude.
Yeah.
No. I just mean like in general, it's dead. No.
You got it.
Oh, like talking to girls in general is dead? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Then why go to a bar?
I don't know.
I go to
I
hang
don't
out.
know.
Honestly, I go to
We used to go to try to get laid.
hang out with homies. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm in my bar going. If I want to talk to a person, I usually talk to them, but I just never want to talk to them.
But like,
If I want to talk to someone, I'll go.
I see
Yeah, like-
articles
Keep
every
going.
day.
Going up to a girl with the intent of like I'm flirting with you to get your number, try to fuck you, try to hang out with you, try to be your girlfriend, like is different though than like I'll talk to a bartender, I'll talk to a guy, but like going up and being like, "Hello, I am here to hit on you. Are you receptive of that?" Is fucking
I
the
think-
scariest thing in the world that a regular person can do.
Here's the hint. The icebreaker, and I've yet to do it. The icebreaker is me and my friend made a rule that if we think a girl in the bar is hot,
you go.
we have to talk to them. Perfect
Say
icebreaker.
pretty, don't say hot.
Bonable. Is that better?
Much better.
You look her up and down.
I want to put it in.
Bonable.
This isn't just for women, but I've been trying to work on not necessarily my small talk, but just like talking to people. Mm-hmm. A question I've asked that had unbelievable returns. I just go, "So what's your thing?"
Just leave it open.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, what's your thing?"
Hold on,
Like,
hold on. Did you know he invented Tinder, by the way?
Yeah,
You do know that?
Just
How many
kidding.
push-ups can you do?
Tinder on the map.
Saturn's for the boys and Tinder, like you invented both of them.
You invented like the modern world. John.
Like, I remember being in my cube job, how many years ago? This one, 2012, whatever it was. And Tinder, I learned a Tinder from Barstool, and the girl sat across from me. We were like the only 3 people on it in New York City, I guess. I would see her all the time, and I was like, "You're on that?" She's like, "Why do people keep asking me how many?"
Yeah,
push-ups
it
I
got to the
do?"
point where people go, "I like Barstool too."
yeah.
I mean, we should probably own like half of Tinder. Tinder. I think Uber too. I think we once got Uber so many signups they thought that we were like cheating the system.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we just told our people
Dave
to use Uber.
invented his watch company because we made Movement watches $50 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
We should have just had equity. If you think about all those companies in the beginning, if we just did a Facebook thing where it's like, instead of that $1,000, we own 1% of your company, they would have done it.
Well, Dave wouldn't sit one meeting, so. Hey, it worked out for him.
But what's your thing?
Oh yeah, so
I
Dude,
just asked the guys.
all of it is like
but
because
wait,
that's just
hold
having
on.
the confidence to go up to someone and just be like,
I was like, yo, what's
not
your
taking
thing?
it too
you
seriously.
slide in. So, what's your thing? Like,
Yeah.
how does-
No,
Yeah,
but
you
that's
just
What if
said
they're
that.
you-
what if they're like
you-
hamsters?
Huh?
Like then, what if they're like hamsters?
Hamsters? Like
No,
hamsters?
like,
React
I feel like-
accordingly. Like,
Yeah,
hamsters
yes,
are your
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Next thing you know, you're on a conversation.
There's like, no, I would
It's
not
all.
say
It's. You know what the problem is? What you just did there, the way you would, if you were to
Well, I
like,
was
I'm gonna
exaggerate.
No, I know, but you'd be nervous about it, and you'd be like, how should I say it, and all that. And the person who actually genuinely asked the question, "What's your thing?" would just be like sipping their beer and be like, "What's your thing?" But it's when you're like, okay, do I look good? Should I say it this way? Should I say it that way? And then they smell that on you. They feel that on you.
I
It's
started
like, go
doing it
away.
over the holidays because I was just like going to a lot of parties and just ended up in like rooms with people I don't know, and I'd just be like, just be sitting there, I'd be like, what's your thing, Jimmy?
And
He'd
it's
be like-
genuine, huh?
He'd be like, I like Taylor Swift, and I was like, that was really how it started. But like Jimmy was the first person I did it on, and then I've started using it on regular people, and it like everyone is so
The audience
'cause-
knows this, do they?
No, I'm not gonna tell it either. But
Read between the lines.
I don't think you can on that.
no, you can't. You cannot
whatever you're
understand that
thinking, you're
story
not, yeah.
unless I tell it to you in full.
Yeah.
But like I just do it to people all the time now, and like because everyone has a thing.
If you-
and everyone's
you could
really
say
excited
that-
to talk about their thing.
Jackie, would that work on you?
Some
Some finance guy.
But the thing is, like, I don't have a thing. So I
But
was
you
kinda
do.
like,
Yeah, you
and
do. Yeah,
you
you
would
do.
say that, and I'd go, no,
Puzzles.
you have a thing.
puzzles.
Yeah.
2048. This bitch is so good at that
This bitch is
2048.
so
I just played that on the
Great.
plane. Couldn't do it.
Bro,
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
not-
trying and
tough.
I've been playing, and I'm like, I look at her differently.
Thanks.
I'm like, it's incredible. Her scores are incredible.
And,
I've
quite
been
bad.
like
at it.
really
She went to
trying.
coding school. She probably made the fucking
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
But like, I guess
I want to like watch you play to figure out what I'm doing wrong because I'm like I think I'm doing everything right, but I always hit like
Well,
15,000 and
it's
I
funny
get
that,
tapped out.
I would say I keep reading, and you just alluded to it too. It's like guys don't approach girls in public anymore, and then you see all these viral tweets. A guy handed me this note asking me out. Disgust. It's like, and so
Dude,
guys.
some of those are like very plain, like normal things.
Yeah.
Like, can you believe that this guy fucking like? Blah, 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 and it's like, I don't know. That's a very normal
And so,
interaction.
but,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Everything's like Tinder and Bumble
Yeah.
and Hinge, and like people really don't approach people anymore. So it's like, all right,
But
I'm
like
gonna bring
at
it back.
the very, like, even if you didn't have a thing and you didn't know what to say with your reaction to that, someone just
Yeah, be
casually
like,
saying that, you'd be like, whoa, okay.
Dang, I
But
don't know.
it's
What's your
hard
thing?
as
And then
fuck
they
to
say their thing,
approach
and
a
then-
stranger.
I mean, I remember
It's so
my friend who was
difficult.
like the best at talking to anybody, but specifically girls. He fell drunk one night, hit his head into a hot dog cart, and then hit the pavement, just tore his face up. And we went out like the next night, and I mean, he was like, skin was like falling off his head,
Oh my
and he had
God.
like Vaseline on it, and like he was a wreck. And he would just go up to girls and be like, how bad is this? Is it like my friends are saying it doesn't look that bad? I think it looks pretty bad. What do you think? And
That's great.
I was like, your face is mangled, but he just did it in such a confident, like, look at my face, it's mangled. How bad is it? It's really bad, right? And I was like, this is insane. This is but it wasn't about what he was saying; it was how he was saying it.
I think a common one probably is like, where do I know you from? But now it's like when somebody comes up to me and says like, where do I know you from? My friends will all be like, you know her from Barstool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, he's just like doing
He's
like
just trying to talk.
He's trying to talk.
It's like
He
a
doesn't
pickup
know
line,
me.
basically. Yeah.
But that one I feel like is the easiest one. Be like, wait, how do I know you?
I would like
But
to
that's so
challenge-
easy.
I
Where you're
feel
like,
like that's
I know
a-
I don't know you.
Yeah, that to
Because
me feels
that
like
would
I
turn
would-
me
that
off.
would work on you?
No, it wouldn't. But like,
But you're recommending other people.
I give it a chance, like, because I'll be like, maybe I do actually know you, because it's
Yeah.
New York City, like you can know anybody. or
I feel like
whatever.
that feels to me like a pickup line.
It feels pickup lining to me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
you don't know me. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I do. I remember, like, I had a friend who was very good at weaving in. He'd be talking to a girl, and then he'd be like, "What's your boyfriend's name again?" And they'd be like, "I don't have a boyfriend." He's like, "Oh, that's right." And like, he would do it every
It's
time.
like
and I
the
was like,
Legally
"Well done."
Blonde when it's like, and your boyfriend's name, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's
and you catch
gay.
him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, I was gonna ask, going back to Severance real quick. Are you guys watching Severance?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love.
I have
the
to. Severance. I know is a good show. It's a slow show though.
slow show.
And
for sure.
when I first watched it, I was like,
It's losing me.
is it?
Okay,
See,
because
I
when I learned of the subject of the show, I was like, this is going to be amazing. I love this idea.
Brilliant.
And then I started watching. I was like, this is too slow for me. And now it's like, I feel like I need to set aside a day where I binge all 8 in a row of season 1 and then I'm in. But I remember watching it being like, we gotta get
Okay,
going
I like
here.
Paradise because I love the concept, and they didn't overcomplicate it. It's just you get your answers, you get the twist, and it's a good enough script. Severance, I feel, is like just
Edging you?
overcomplicating everything that it hurts my brain. It's a chore now.
okay. I completely agree with you there. I will say that I am not excited to watch Severance when I watch
It
it.
hurts my head.
I'm
You
like,
do need a little lioness in your life where it's like, this is a good show, but it's got some of the
but
get up, you know?
Once I watch it, I'm like, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But also like, and I think part of that is like, I watch Pav's work, I watch Owen work, and like I have like an appreciation for like the shots.
Did you see the
and
shot in
things
the
like that.
hallway?
Yeah, the
So
hallway
cool.
that was cool. But like even just stuff like in episode 2, they were doing stuff where just like the way shots were fading in and fading back out. Like I think because of watching them work, I don't know how to do anything, but I have an understanding of like what it takes.
appreciation, yeah.
And I'm like, so like when I watch it, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. But
that's
I have
different.
to work up the courage to be like, all
Here
right,
we go
I'll do
again.
it.
Yeah, that to me, that like when a
It's a
show
long
is
hour.
work, it becomes a little different to me. Like,
But it's
there are
it's
certain
so
shows worth
weird.
working for, and certain ones that are not, and you got to like pick and choose your battles.
Like, I watched episode
don't
2
like
the
to
other
have to
night.
read Reddit or the internet after. But what did that mean? What happened
Some-
there?
but I
you
don't
don't do
know.
that.
no,
Don't do
because
that.
otherwise I really just won't understand a lot of it. I
But
feel,
you get it. Like, I don't know. I was a very big like True Detective looking at, and now I like just watching it and getting what
alone.
I get and not getting what I don't get.
Yeah.
I feel like I
But-
understand half of what's happening then.
Can I say a Reddit theory that I heard
I would love
about
to
it,
hear it.
that I think is like actually like gonna be very accurate? Okay, so Lumen is a cloning company, and Miss Casey is a clone of his wife, and that's why she's like so robotic. And then Miss Huang, like the new like the 8-year-old girl or whatever, is like a new and improved because it like starts from birth. So she's like just really young, but she is a clone. She's like of Miss Casey, or maybe not of her, just like related or something. And then that explains like the goats. Like the goats are like the lab rats. Lab rats.
Yeah.
And
I can see that. For
yeah,
sure. That makes
isn't that
sense.
like, and then when they're like looking for numbers, they're looking in like faults in the clone or something like that. That's what the bad numbers is, and I think that's
So
gonna be what it is.
I on that theory, so she's a 10-year-old, but they said something about being like a crossing guard, and then Miss Casey, his dead wife, also died in a car accident. And so when she went to the funeral, Miss Coble in season 1 and drilled out his chip, and they're like, she goes, "This is him, not this is his chip. This is him." There's something to that where they are taking dead people and then putting them down on the severed floor to be those people. So like they're still like alive, but they're not actually alive on the outside.
I see that.
But he's also, his refinement is also his dead wife. Like he's working, his computer shit is like on his dead wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's why they said he had like this phenomenal, what they call it, like freshman year or something. Like his first patient that he did the refinement on, he did like such a good job because it was someone he knew in real life.
Oh, interesting.
The Severance to me felt like Westworld, where it's like I love the concept but I was just like I can't.
There's the chance that happened. I think I did 2 seasons of Westworld. There's a chance, but I really like it. Is again like just from like,
The
just
quality.
staring over Pav's shoulder. Like I notice stuff more, and like the quality of it is so.
You know what I
fucking
noticed?
good.
Breaking Bad's like that too for me.
You know
Yeah.
who?
Awesome
You know who
shot.
really made it known they were part of the show in season 2 is Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
He was not. I at least I didn't see in season 1. He was not like a part of all the marketing shit. He is all over this now.
Yeah.
Every video, everything.
He's an insane director.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
if
didn't
you haven't
realize
seen,
that. He's
watch
got-
Escape at Dannemora on Netflix.
Who did that?
It was on Showtime at the end of Showtime's run of relevance. Like it was right towards.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was probably like season 8 of Shameless.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah.
was late, probably 7 years ago. We'll call it. And Escape at Dannemora, Stiller directed that too. It's fucking.
He's a good example of like he's obviously wildly successful. So, but he's like he moved on to a different thing in Hollywood.
Right.
It's like he's crushing it.
Yeah.
You know,
How
maybe
do you
he's
learn
not-
to do that, dude? Can you take like, hey, call up Spielberg, teach me how to direct?
Well,
when
I
you're
think you
Ben
probably always
Stiller?
know how to do it a little bit, and you just get better at it
Yeah.
all the time. But it's cool to watch someone. It's like, all right, you're not like a Jim Carrey $20 million movie blockbuster every year, but it's like you're.
But he
that's
also
okay.
could be if he
Yeah,
wanted to.
if you wanted to, right.
Ooh, should I give my Jim Carrey take? His best role, he should have been nominated for Best Actor. Liar, liar. Just nobody else can do.
You
in
stole
the-
that take from me.
No, did you say that?
I've
actually?
said that take like 20 years ago.
I've recently rewatched. I mean, I
if you
thought
talk
this
about
forever.
literally just acting,
No,
it's
not,
incredible.
I would say Truman Show, he's good in it. So many actors can be in the Truman Show. Nobody can do
The
what he did in
Liar
Liar.
is like.
It's the peak of physical comedy.
Yeah,
no,
it really
but
is.
it's like also
the subject matter is not like serious enough, so it'll never get attention. But it's like
But-
what he is doing. I don't think very few people could do.
He took like a whatever basic comedy script and he just ran with it,
Yep.
and he's so many levels above what anybody else could do in
Totally.
that.
I'm with you on that, man.
Michael Che after. I think it was after Joe Coy. It was after an award show where there was hullabaloo about the host, and Michael Che had a like Instagram story, like a couple of them in a row that was so funny, where he was talking about he was very heartfelt and interesting, where he was like, we just shouldn't do it. Like none of us should do this. They'll ask us every year. None of us should do it because they don't respect us as artists. He's like, they don't. If they respected us as artists, then Jim Carrey would have gotten a nomination for comedy work he did, and if Eddie Murphy would have gotten nominations for comedy work he did, and blah blah blah. And then the last slide is, having said all that, hit me up if you need me.
At the end of the day, he just needs to be loved. And that
All right, dog. Good stuff.
was awesome.
Great notes.
Great episode, Eric.
See you guys next year.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.